everybody. Jigs and friggin' Bigs. It is Bobby Roast Beef once again, and we have an amazing show lined up for you guys. All kinds of great stuff to talk about. We got Bandon White in the house, one of our very, very much engaged listeners to the show. We had a great conversation. We talked a little bit about BFS fishing. We talk about the fish whistle quite a bit, actually, to tell you the truth. And it's a great conversation, and I love this. This is kind of like getting to know some of the most engaged listeners that are out there, and I'm all for it. So got that coming up in the beef seat. We have lots of stuff to be talking about right here. The first slot limit tournament of the year is about to kick off. It goes on this Saturday, the 19th. It's happening, folks. And we've got a few things to deal with over here, and there is plenty of space for people to go ahead and get connected on Fishing Chaos. Joe is with us, and we got lots to talk about there. What's happening with the coming weekend for fishing? We're going to find out. We're going to talk all about this stuff, guys. Go ahead and grab yourself something delicious to enjoy. We will be back with much more show coming up in just a bit. Don't go too far. Come on. Goodness, it is another wonderful week, and I'll tell you what, there's still buzz going on about that whole situation in Florida with Captain Brock, the most unbelievable best guide in the world.
Yeah,
there's still shit going on, and there's folks talking on both sides of it. Like they're trying to like make Gage seem like he's some terrible human being because like he smoked a joint a few times or some shit like that. Like it's fucked up. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Yeah, he hit the fucking, he likes the cheeb, and all of a sudden that's going to undo the fact that this psychopath boarded his vessel. That's right. Son of a bitch. It's just been wild, man. And the feedback has been crazy. Absolutely crazy. Jay Manning says the devil's lettuce. You're goddamn right, Jay Manning. You're goddamn right, my friend. It has been a week. It has been a wild week. It's been a lot of prep right now, and now it's like getting like things together for the big send. I don't know if you're registered, Joe, for the slot limit tournament, but I think last I checked, we're at 10 anglers, and I think this week we're going to see a nice little pop with folks jumping in on this sucker because it's going to be a lot of fun. But I got some news. The Canadian koala reached out to me and said he was concerned because of some weather system that was coming through where I was going to be. And he was like, hey, if there's an advisory, just do me a favor and don't go out. And I was like, I'm not fucking around with any of that stuff. I do have some backup plans of where we're going to be able to go and hit it. But like, hey, it wouldn't be a slot limit tournament if, number one, I didn't go to a body of water that I've never fished before that has a reputation of just like turning out absolute hammers or absolute tanks. And there'd be a massive cold front that rolls in the day of the tournament because that's exactly what happened.
Of course. I mean, look what's been happening here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this has been absolutely insane. Today, 70 degrees outside. I was out cleaning my boat. 70 degrees. It's beautiful. I'm in shorts. You know. I mean, it's New England. I'm wearing a hoodie. But yeah, tomorrow's gonna be like 45. Fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And crazy winds. Yeah, let's take a look and see how many people we have in the slot limit tournament already, because I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, we have 10 anglers. That was the last I looked right now. And it's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you're going to go out and fish on Saturday, just enter this sucker right now, especially if you're looking to catch any kind of black bass species at all. Because you could win some money and have a whole lot of fun. Just make sure you have a catch board. That's all I ask. Just make sure you have a catch board, the approved board. That's it. Todd Sefton says it touched 70 over there as well. Tim Behan in the house says, hey guys, Tim Behan, last I checked the scavenger hunt, he's been cleaning house. And then he goes, John goes, yeah, that's what it is happening Saturday here. It'll be all about the timing of the front. Yep, exactly. And it's gonna be dicey, I think. We'll see. I think the term the Canadian koala and I used was hopefully it kisses Toledo. That's the idea. It moves out that way and kisses Toledo. That'd be great. Oh, Joe, how was your week?
Dude, so my week turned out to be not fishy at all.
No, really?
So my tournament got postponed due to, the weather.
That's right.
So the tournament got postponed. It was supposed to be out at Cape Cod. Dude, it was like 40 plus mile an hour winds. So I think the tournament director made the right call. Between the rain, the cold, and the winds, it just, he just didn't think it was going to be a very safe outing.
Yep. No,
it's one thing to be cold, wet, you deal with that, but when you get those winds whipping and stuff, it just kind of felt like it was a little bit it had the potential to be a little bit unsafe. I think he made the right call. The super unfortunate thing is you had a lot of people get on the like tournament series Facebook page and just like kind of start bashing the fact that postponed it.
That's exactly it. And they don't. It's a lot of people that are just like butthurt about it because they carved out whatever time, or they just don't understand the severity.
Yeah, and I get their standpoint to a point.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, look at BASS has canceled.
Of course,
tournaments, MLF cancels tournaments. It's just kind of it just, and it wasn't canceled. It was just postponed. It was 2 weeks. It was put off for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I'll be down in Georgia. I won't be able to fish it, but lucky I'll still be getting points down there, but hopefully. But there's just a lot of haters with it. It's like it was all about like me. Like I had already planned for this. I had already paid. I have a different tournament on the makeup date. It's like you can't make everybody happy.
That's
what I mean? Like,
it's true. There's a lot of people that have this idea that like, oh yeah, you're just gonna pick a date that's gonna work for everybody. And it's like that might not happen.
Yeah, it's,
and I'm sure they refunded whoever wasn't able to do the makeup date, right?
Yeah, they're absolutely going to refund it if they had and that's only if they already paid online. So it's like,
yeah, and they're not like,
everyone just relax.
You're keeping your money, you jerks.
Yeah, no kidding. So everyone just kind of needs to relax with that.
Yeah,
and it was just really unfortunate to see, and to the point where I was like, I was just going to aggravate. I was like, and I just want to kind of put my 2 cents in, but I didn't. I refrained from doing that.
Yep.
And no one likes when a tournament gets canceled or postponed. Nobody likes it, but you have to understand the bigger picture with it. And I think a few people were having a really tough time doing that. Like, cool, I get it. You're fine. You are fine with 3-foot waves or whatever, like, yay, like good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But not everybody feels that way, and what they don't understand, it's not that one person assuming the risk.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If something happens, it's the organizer and it's the tournament series headquarters. They are the ones assuming the risk.
Yeah.
So it is on them. Was I happy? No, I would have went out there and I would have fished, but I respected the decision.
Oh, sure.
I have a boat that can handle the rough waters.
Yep.
So, but some people's boats can't. Like, you have everything from my Icon down to trackers.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like tracker bass boats, tin boats who might not take those waves and everything as well. So, yeah, it was an unfortunate thing to see. Hopefully that smoothed over. I kind of stopped looking at the comments because it was just frustrating because it was all about it was all about me. You know what I mean? Instead of seeing the bigger picture.
Yep.
But outside of that, man, I got like 2 inches of snow at my house Saturday.
Dude, that was crazy, right? Saturday morning, woke up and there was snow everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. So I was supposed to stay down there Friday night with Dan Griffin, his spot down there. But yeah, dude, I woke up Saturday morning. I was like, what is going on right now?
Oh, it was crazy.
It was absolute insanity. And yeah, but outside of that, there was a big tournament Sunday on Webster Lake. And shout out to our friend here at the podcast, Josh Codier, for getting not only the win, but the lunker on that
for real
on that tournament. Yeah,
nice job.
Yeah, they got it was like a 20-pound bag with a 6-pound kicker.
Jesus.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think 606 was the lunker that
know
they
what?
got. He did have a partner, and it's that's slipping my mind who his partner was right now, and I apologize. But yeah, he killed it. I was talking to him because a lot of people had tough days.
Didn't the butcher also fish that one?
He did.
Yeah,
He did. He had a
yeah.
tough tournament. Dan had a tough tournament.
Yep.
Dan Griffin, and those are the three that I was kind of like talking to, and yeah, they had a tough. Those two had a tough tournament. Josh had it figured out pretty quick. So
Oh yeah, I hear you. I almost went out and fished on Sunday. We'll get to that. Why that shit didn't happen. But
okay,
yeah, I'm like you're right. Like people, they freak out about tournaments, and it's all like a
Yeah.
You know what the one thing is too about like competitive fishing, and it's like competitive anything, and this is one of the things that like I'm just like I want nothing of. It doesn't need to be a dick measuring contest, especially like with shit conditions and
Yeah.
you know, in you know the edge of like you know springtime where you have cold water temps and shit like that. Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yep.
it's not about like, oh, I go and fish these conditions all the time. Okay, great. That's not a tough thing. It's not. It's
Right.
gravity, dude.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make you
Yeah.
any tougher or more rugged of a person to go out in those conditions. Arguably, it might make you dumb. You know what I'm saying? It very well could. You know what I mean? Because you're risking that much more. Or it could make you smarter because you take the right precautions to do it the right way. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
be safe about
Yep.
it. How many of these
Sometimes
dudes are out there with a PFD, you know, in 3-foot
Yeah.
rollers?
Sometimes you just have to look outside of your own box.
Yeah.
And kind of understand, you know, the rational thinking from other people.
Yep.
And I think a few of them were just having a tough time doing that and got a little vocal, a little out of line.
John Hagen's fish or die, man.
That's right. So yeah, it's, you know, a few of them, and I'm not going to throw out names or shade or anything, but a few of them kind of were like, they pulled back pretty quick. Like, all right, yeah, I get it. But a couple of them, man, just
They're holding on.
that was just the hill they wanted to die on.
Yeah.
Dude. They just wanted to die on that hill.
I wanted
And
to
I was
go
like,
fishing
oh my-
for money on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, no, you could have went and fished still. Like if it was that important to you, pre-fish it. You could have still went and pre-fished it for 2 weeks if you
True.
make it there. If you can't, sorry. Like again, you can't make everybody happy.
That's-
Suck it up, Buttercup.
That's a really good point. Yeah. So my week.
I can't go to. I can't. Sorry, I didn't
Go
mean to
ahead.
cut you off.
Go ahead.
I can't fish the makeup.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, do I need to go on Facebook and be like, oh, well, that doesn't work for me. So we need to do it a different day. And that's unacceptable because it doesn't work for just me. So we can't have it that day.
How many anglers were there that were already registered?
Probably 30 something.
Okay, so it's a good sized group. So like even if there's like 5
yeah.
or 6, that's still a small share.
And you know what? There's always a waiting list too of people that just didn't make the
original
obviously there's a max amount. There's a max amount of boats you can have. So there's usually a waiting list of people. So it'll get filled up.
Oh yeah, somebody's gonna jump in on it. That's awesome, dude.
So-
That's nuts. Yeah.
I won't cut you off this time. I promise.
So, I mean, my week was kind of nuts. Last week, I kind of went on a little bit of a binge with purchasing some items. One of those is that I think we talked about it last week. That Daiwa Tatula BFS reel.
Yep.
And I spoke with Thomas over at Pig Jigs. He's the craftsman that's putting together this custom rod. And this was, I guess, on Friday he had mentioned like it might be ready to ship today. And I haven't heard anything yet about it. I'm not planning on having it for St. Clair. I don't think it's going to get here in time. I'm just stoked. But dude, this reel showed up and I put it in my hands and it is just amazing. Like it is just amazing. It really, really is. This thing is so
It's
nice.
the Tatula BFS, correct?
Yep, Tatula
The new one?
BFS 70. Yep, it is.
Yeah.
It is like the craftsmanship is insane.
70, so small, such a baby.
It's
Just
so
a baby.
So small. And there's a twist. Like there's a lot of BFS stuff happening this week. So
Yeah.
I had also put in an order for, I needed some line, and I need to re-up on some leader line as well. And I was like, I got to get some tungsten. I got to get this. I got to get, just stuff I wanted to stock up on. And I kind of wanted to put together like a big open, like BFS, like day box. So I found Euro Tackle has these really nice boxes, and it's actually kind of cool. They're like dual hinge, so you can open them on either side or take the lid completely off. And
okay, interesting.
That's why I was like, yeah, this is a really good idea. So I'm going to throw a silica gel packet in there, and this is going to be like what I work out of. Like I'm going to take and hang on to this.
Sure.
And I'm going to, I have this other nice box from Mule that's more of a compact like jig box, and I can organize that all nice and pretty. But then I don't have to go messing things up. I can grab what I need and then go back until whatever, and it'll work out nice. So I'm kind of working on some stuff with that. I had last week I had gone out. Geez, did I go out on Tuesday? I think I did go out on Tuesday.
Did you?
Yeah,
Let's
I did.
hear about it.
So I went out on I went out on Tuesday, and it was kind of just blah. Like I couldn't really get bit. I had very little amount of time, but I was like, you know what? Thursday is going to be the day. I'm going to plan on that. We're going to plan for Thursday. That's going to be the day. So I went out, and I had this was the first outing with the. Where my intention was to make a video and have the new microphones, the new mics. So this is fantastic, man. I put together a banger of a video, and it dropped last night on Sunday night. I put it out last night. I edited it on Sunday after my errands were all done, and I put that together and uploaded and released that. And it is, I'll tell you what, it is fantastic. So I had gone out. I had played around with the idea. I've been wanting to go to the Swift and do some trout fishing, but it just doesn't work to work out time-wise with the ride out, being able to effectively fish that stretch of river that I want to be able to fish and have time to be in Southampton to pick up my kid. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this after St. Clair, because I've got other stuff lined up for this month. As far as getting out trout fishing, I'm gonna have to do this after St. Clair. So I went back to Congamon Jr. primarily to get a video out, and I was like, if I can get some fish, in the boat for the derb, wonderful. That sounds great. So I go and I launch the boat, and I actually bumped into a guy that I remember seeing at that ramp last fall. And he was asking me all kinds of questions about my boat, like what I thought of like having the 50 horsepower Merc and everything. And he shows up. He was with his dad, and he's got, was it a tracker? I think it's a tracker, and brand new. He was just splashing it that day. Like I had I was just backing off of the bank, and he's like just backing down the ramp. And I was like, no shit, man. Good for you. Nice little boat. So he was out, on the back end of the pond, just kind of doing laps. Just to get some of those hours in. I think they had changed up spots and gone fishing somewhere else. It was a grind that day. Like everybody I talked to was like, oh, they're not biting for shit. So I had gone out with these mics, and I got to tell you, man, dude, the ability to just narrate what I'm doing and have the audio be quite literally as good as what this is right now, and still have the ambient noise. Like there is the possibility that I could record podcasts while I'm on the water fishing. Like there is the possibility that I could make that happen. I would have to be a specific body of water. I would have to have amazing cell service, like all that kind of shit, but it could happen, And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like I got to play with like wireless headphones and things like that to be able to make it work. But I was pretty amazed with it. So I'm out there, and I've got this mic, and I'm like, it kind of fucked with my editing a little bit, because I had to really pay way more attention to the dialogue, because I didn't shut up.
Yeah.
I just naturally, I'm just like, oh yeah, guys, so this is what's going on here, blah, 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 blah. And I would just kind of like cut a bunch of things together, because you know how I talk. I'm all over the place. And then I get back to whatever. So that's kind of how I did it. It was pretty good. Todd knows what I'm talking. He says it sounded good until the float test. So I go, and I'm like, I'm just doing this whole thing. And there's a spot where, and I realize like I get on a tangent, like on the video, there's what pops up. I put a graphic, and it says grass counter. And every time I say the word grass, I change the number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
This is a span of like 12 minutes. I said grass 9 times in like this 12-minute clip right here. And I was just like, I want to make it a little bit more fun. I want to make it a little bit more interesting. And like one of the fucking video like influences that I have is from a culinary, the food world of content. Maddie Matheson, man. Fucking Maddie.
Okay.
And like I wanted to go, and every time I said grass, I wanted to have it go like meow, like that. And I was like, I couldn't find the right cat sound, and I fucking hate cats, but I know it's like it. I was like, and that's too much of a rip from Madison. So I made it a little like sound every time I fucking said grass. Fucking great, dude. I played it I've watched it, I don't know, like editing back, I've watched it like 4 times, buckled over in laughter the entire time. Like, I think I'm funny, and that's fucking stupid. But I play it for my kids, and they think it's fucking hilarious. I had an instance where I caught an upgrade of a pickerel that was almost 18 3/4. It made 18 1/2. And it was just fucking disaster, a train wreck. Catch this pickerel, put it in the net. Like somehow the jig comes out of its mouth and goes in and then out of a couple of. I got to get a new fucking net with like the silicone netting and not the fucking rope shit, because it's like all over the place. I'm trying to pick this out. I got this toothy creature like flopping around in the net while I'm trying to fix this. I go to measure him and I'm like, I got to put you on the live well. I don't have my fucking identifier. And all of this is being captured on video because the camera's like up right behind me. And full detail, all of the audio is with it. And I'm like, you motherfucker. So I put on some circus music and I cut it up to kind of go spot to spot and make it as entertaining as possible. This is the thing. And I think I texted a couple of content creator friends from like just that I've met through Jigs and Bigs. And I was like, I think it fucking happened. I think this is my fucking graduation into the world of content creators. And I said, I fucking dropped a microphone into the water and watched it fucking go away and caught the whole thing on fucking video and audio.
One of the new ones?
One of the Hollyland ones, the brand new ones, dude. Now, luckily, they do come in a pair. Like there's more than one in a kit that you buy. And I did discover that yes, you can replace the individual ones. You can just order new ones.
Okay.
And they're cheap. I think I spent like $30. I'm like, okay, I understand it's a $30 mistake. Fine, I'll make it all day. That's no problem. This is what happened. Like the sun. I thought we were going to have much more sun than we actually did. We had way more cloud cover than was initially forecast. And that wasn't fine. I actually think that helped me out quite a bit because once the sun kind of came out, like things got really slow. But I was like, I'm starting to get the fucking fisherman's tan. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's take off the hat and glasses and just get a little bit of sun on my head. Now, I had the microphone clipped right to the brim of my hat here. And it's a great thing because I'm not breathing down on it. Like, you could still hear me breathing the whole fucking time and shit like that. And I was like, I got to fix that. I got to lose some weight, man.
I noticed that, dude. So on mine, so I'm like, is that what I fucking, do I really breathe that heavy all the time?
I'm like, now I know my wife is so mad at me all the time. You fucking breathe too hard. What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm like, all right, you're not wrong.
I noticed it.
So I go and I take my hat off and I take my glasses and I put them in my hat. I grab the microphone and like there's a clip on the magnet that I'm using to hold it to the brim of my hat. And I'm trying to like pop it open to clip it on the lanyard for my trolling motor remote. And as I do, it's like the two pieces sandwich and the microphone goes bloop and goes flying off out from the boat. And I turn my head and I watched it down and like the logo is face up and it's like, bye, as it's sinking down. I was in like 20 feet of water or some shit like that. I'm like, fuck. And all I could do was look back at the camera and I'm like, what the fuck? So I had some fun with that. You know, I had a good time with that. That was all right. It's all good. I did a nice little voiceover. the end of the video. I just went back. I'm like, whatever. But it was like, I thought it was a really good video, really entertaining video. And I think
that's a 26-minute one too, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a good. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. It's fucking.
I don't know. Usually I get the notifications. I didn't see that one.
And it's weird. Like I put it up and then I was like, do I love the title? And I started fucking with the title and shit like that. So that may have fucked with it because I screw around with that shit sometimes. But
yeah,
I'm like, wow, that is kind of crazy. People are just, all right, so cool. But yeah, it is amazing though, having those microphones and knowing like what it's able to do as far as like unlocking this next level of like, this is something I can really do. Now, if it wasn't at Congamon Jr., I would have had drone shots and the whole nine. I'm hoping to do at St. Clair as long as it plays. Yep. I'm hoping to have an epic video. In fact, I'm not only going to be mic'd, but Todd Sefton's going to be mic'd as well.
Perfect.
That's why I was like, I want to get this second mic in and should be here tomorrow. So I just have to pair it and we'll be good to go. But dude, unfreaking believable day. Then Friday, so I worked every single day this week. Like I had an event every single day.
Menace to society.
I went out and I did an event in Needham. It was a 50th birthday party.
Oh.
Yep, for Alex. Alex, happy 50th. Alex is awesome. She's got 3 awesome kids that were just hilarious, and her husband Colin put this together, and it was this really, really nice restaurant called the Farmhouse, and but it kind of stressed me out a little bit. It really did. I got there, dude, and I spoke with Kim over at the Farmhouse, who was great, and she's like, she goes, where do you think you should set up? And I was like, well, where would I be out of the way, out of the flow of traffic? I'm like, because I've got a video display, because he's going to do a PowerPoint presentation. I've got pictures, stuff like that, and I was like, I kind of need to be out of the way, but like close enough so I'm not like full crazy volume or anything. Mm-hmm. She was like, okay, we'll set you up here. This is the only outlet. I was like, well, that's where I got to be. Perfect. I was there. I made really good time getting there, and I got set up nice in advance. And I took some time. Actually, I made some like custom graphics while I was there, and put that together for the slideshow so people could text photos. And it looked really, really good, dude. The fuse blew twice. And I wasn't drawing a load. I wasn't even like playing music. There was nothing running. It was just like everything was just sitting idle, and the fuse blew. I was like, oh shit. So the first time it blew, she's like, I'm going to run downstairs and check and see what's going on. So I unplugged my laptop, obviously. And I'm like, and I'm looking around. I was like, is there another outlet somewhere? And I found another outlet. There was the front door was like right behind me. On the other side, there was an outlet there, and there was their like bank of phones and like remote POS systems, like Toast systems. So those were all on chargers. And I was like, wait, they're all on. They're all charging. The phone had the display on and it was plugged in. So I'm like, okay, all right. So that's on a different circuit. So after the second time it popped, I grabbed that extension cord, pulled it around, buried it under the like little like carpet walkway that they have set up. And hit it all nice. And then I took power from the other side. I was like, okay, that's cool. Everything's good. And then what this is nuts. So on the drive out there, I went live on Instagram, just talking about, St. Clair and like all this stuff that's going on and like the BFS stuff I've got coming in. And I go on and the butcher was in there, and I was like, dude, you've mentioned multiple times. And I think in the chat, he even mentioned, he's like, I got this BFS combo. I got to get to you. And I'm like, I'm going to be driving right by your place on the way back. I was like, if you're up. And so then we start texting back and forth, and he's like, okay, well, I ended up staying late at this party. I didn't leave until like 11, and I was scheduled for like 10 o'clock. But I wanted to make sure that they got like the full experience, because it was just like dinner was a little bit later than they had anticipated. I think that the PowerPoint presentation and everything, it was a really good one. And I'm not going to be like, hey, hurry up, we got shit to do. It was more let it take its place. And I told him, I was like, I don't mind staying late. We'll work it all out. And I was texting Ryan. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be leaving here a little bit later. I'll text you and give you my ETA. So the two of us were doing an exchange like midnight, like right on some rest
shit.
stop off of 84. And I'm like, oh, all right, beautiful. So he hooked me up with this combo, and it's pretty sweet. I'm going to fool around with this sucker. I think this might be the go-to trout rod for my BFS stuff, like for like the extremely small stuff, like really, really. This might be. I'm gonna have to see like where that plays in the spectrum, because again, I like to keep everything and like look at it as a spectrum, the heaviest to the lightest, and everything in between. And I'm gonna put it somewhere in there. But once I get that pig jigs rod, I'll figure out what the scoop is.
Yep.
So, I leave. I get home. I get up the next day. I did the most amazing freaking event for a big group of Air Force veterans.
Oh yeah.
Yep. This was a 40th birthday party for Adam Ducharme, right? And and his wife.
I know Adam.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We've talked about them. Leah put this together, and it was such a great party. I was introduced to what I think could be the next big buzz in the beer world.
Okay.
Barley wines.
Interesting.
Like 12 to 20% fucking like cellar temp barley wines.
Huh.
Like,
interesting.
Wow. Yeah, he's cracking bottles and stuff. And we're like, it was just unbelievable. It was a great party. They had it. It was a taco party, big taco bar. And I guess Adam's a little bit of a foodie. So Leah's like, I can't just do like a, giant pan of taco meat, ground beef or whatever. They had it catered. I forget the caterer's name, but it was dynamite. The whole crew was there playing trivia, and they were just like, it was awesome. We had such a good time. I think and this was Saturday. This is the day of the snow, and like they lived in Alaska for a good portion of time.
That's crazy.
And so like they're like, oh, this is just a mild day, like it's no big deal. I'm wearing a base layer, I'm wearing like a mid layer, like this Carhartt like Henley, then I have a flannel buttoned up. How often do I button up a flannel? Like never. Never. I'm wearing a down vest over that, a Hookset Hoodlums knit cap, and I have two. Thank God one of the guests at the party brought these hand warmers. I had one in each of my pockets in the flannel. Holy shit, I was toasty as fuck the whole day. It was great. It was great. It was raining and shit. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So it was a great party. It was unbelievable. I got home that night and just crashed. I was like, I am so freaking tired. And I really did want to fish on Sunday. I really was like, Sunday's the day. I'm just gonna send it. We'll go. Yeah. And I thought that was gonna be my thing. I was like, I'll fish Sunday. I'll go out and get that trout fishing in. But I am going to do this and then just turn it right around and go right to trivia afterwards, because I had to work Sunday night as well. Yeah. So I'm like, let's go ahead and fool around with this and see what we can come up with. Well, that plan got thrown right out the fucking window because, my gray Boston Terrier, Eleanor? Yep. Right. She's like my wife's little like COVID baby, like the baby we never had. We got a puppy instead. Yeah. Like that.
I remember when you went and got her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This dog, every time that I am like, pretty much every morning when I come home after dropping off my daughter at school, I have like whatever's left over in the pot of coffee. I'm drinking that. I'll have breakfast, and then I'll usually sit for a little bit and I'll do like any of the social stuff that I need to get done, promoting trivia. I'll do all of my emails and everything right there, and I do it all right from my recliner. Working at home sucks. So I'm like, right. I'm like, so Eleanor will come over and she'll sit like right on my chest and just like, you know how they say like dogs like don't like to put their face right in your face? Yeah. This ain't that dog. Her face is right there. She'll yawn right in your face, and you're like, oh, great. I can pretty much see your asshole straight through your body. Thank you for that. This fucking dog. Well, I'm always petting her neck and her face and stuff, and I noticed this was Thursday afternoon, right on the right side of her face, she had this huge mass out of nowhere on her neck, like one of her lymph nodes or something. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, that's weird. Where the fuck did that come from? And I thought she got bit by something, like a spider or something like that. And like, because dude, our house is like 120 years old. You know, I'm like,
yeah.
We have spiders and shit all over the place. I was like, this is fucking weird. So I hand her over to my wife and she's like, holy shit, that is weird. It wasn't bothering her or anything like that. But of course, like, you know, if this had been Hudson and it was the other Boston, my wife would have been like,
Fuck that dog.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But because it was Eleanor, her little derpy baby, she's like, oh my God, let me call the vet. So she calls the vet and she's like, I don't really know. Like, it's not bothering her. I don't think it's worth bringing her to the like veterinary ER. She's like, well, there's an urgent care right near you. Dude, there's veterinary urgent cares? I never even knew this was a thing.
Didn't know that.
So there's this one that's in Northampton. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So Holly calls and makes an appointment. And she's like, well, she goes, I have to work Sunday morning. She goes, can you take her Sunday morning? And I'm like, yep, I can.
It's on you now, sucker.
I'm like, I can. So I go, all right, fuck going out fishing today. I'm going to take her out. And so I got up early that morning. I brought her out. And let me tell you something. For those of you listening in Jigs and Bigs Nation, listening to this show, if I say the words Northampton, Massachusetts, like for some of you, you're not going to have any idea. But those of you who have been to Western Massachusetts know what Northampton is like as a town. It's a magical, it's a mystical place. This was the most
it's like Narnia, dude.
This was the most Northamptoniest thing I've ever Northamptoned in my life. Number one. Now again, like I get it now. I think I understand why. I think because this facility, and I say facility because they put some money into this place, but I think during the pandemic, they went so hard to make sure that they were within the scope of what they could get away with in order to be able to see their patients and handle all their clients and stuff, that I think they're just sticking to it. Like, it's 2025, and I had to
Are they all wearing like dual masks and shit?
I had to call from the parking lot and handle all of the interview stuff.
What the F?
From the car. And then they were like, and my wife is like, yeah, they said you're gonna have to call. She's like, I think it's just a really small space and there's not like a waiting room. Like, it's just like the examination rooms or whatever. Nope. There's plenty of waiting rooms. In fact, there's like a consultation room where they broke down like what the treatment was going to be and everything else. And then they're
living in 2020, Bobby.
So I go and there's a sign on the door that says masks are required. And I was like, did they just leave that there? Like, they forgot about it? Because there are places around me that are like, there's signs that did say masks required. They just never came down. They just like let them age, you know?
Sure, you just ignore them.
Exactly. Yeah. No, they handed me a mask immediately. And they were like, oh, no, we require a mask. I was like, okay. It's no skin off my back. That's fine. And then we go and we talk
like an idiot with you for a while.
Hey, to me, whatever it's got to be. I will say, I agree. And I had this conversation actually with Sean the Fisherman. Back then in 2020, those years, I didn't get a fucking cold. Like, I get it. I'm like, no shit. You know, I'm like, I get it. But I'm like, all right, that's fine. You know, it was just a bit much, we'll just say.
Yeah.
It's all good. It was all good to the tune of like $900 for the sample that they took, and that was the thing. It was like at that first day, like this mass was huge. By Friday, it had already reduced by like maybe half. And even then, Holly was like, she's like, maybe she'll be all right. You know, she's like, but we got the appointment. And like, she had to pay, like Holly had to pay like $200, like from the beginning. I paid the other $7 when I got there. I was like, Jesus. So yeah, they did blood work and everything. And you know, Holly was happy. I picked her up a coffee and I brought the freaking little fur baby over to say hi while she was at work, and she was happy. So I got home and edited that video, put that sucker out, and then went to work. And today,
so what was it? Hold on.
We still don't know. Like,
you still don't know?
Still don't know. The sample came out, and they're like, there's nothing that seems weird. Like, there's nothing that's making us think like lymphoma or anything like that. And I'm like,
yeah.
And especially like with it shrinking back like that, it probably wouldn't be necessarily.
Sure. Maybe she just had some infection she was fighting or something.
And you know what? She goes, I kind of wish you'd told me that she ate like pig ears or something like that, like chewed those types of things. Because lots of times what happens is like a little shard will like get buried in and it'll irritate that stuff. She goes, but you just feed her, you know, like all the good treats and stuff like that. Like if you took shitty care of your dog, that might be what it is. But she's like, so we're gonna have to wait till like the tests come back and we figure out, you know, what's what. But she's like, it doesn't seem like it's anything that you need to be concerned with right now. So we'll see what happens. But
all right,
yeah. So I cranked out that video. That was all set. And then today was the kickoff of like, now let's plan for St. Clair. So I had a conversation late last night. Went out on my back porch for a little pre-roll sesh, and I was chatting up with the Canadian koala, and I was running questions by him. I'm like, dude, can I, like, I've had mixed information about bringing food with me over the border, and I was like, what I'm looking to bring is like a ham. Like, that's what I'm looking to bring because it's Easter. I want to make a ham. And I picked up an Easter kielbasa because, like, as a Western Massachusetts guy, it's got to happen. You know, extra garlic, extra pepper. It's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so, you know, we gotta eat well while we're there. This is going to be good. And he's like, if you're bringing like smoked meats or anything that's like ready to eat, he's like, you're probably going to be okay. He's like, just know that like the possibility is there. They might be like, hey, fuck you, we're keeping this. And they're just going to eat it while you're driving away, you know, bawling your eyes out. Like, it is what it is. And then we were talking about the weather, and there is a front that looks like it is going to hit St. Clair. Something fierce, like perfect timing. I am showing up to a lake I've never fished before, and a cold front's going to roll over, dual middle fingers in the air in the clouds. Like, hey, how you doing, Bobby? I am more than prepared to just do what I got to do to find these fish and just put one on the board that counts. That's all I care about this fucking tournament. I don't give a shit about any of it else. I'm just like, just give me one fish that fits the slot. That's it. I will be so delighted. So I went and I cleaned out the truck, did like a deep clean, you know, vacuumed everything out and got everything ready because I'm like, I'm going to be in here for a little while. I'm like, it's due. Usually I do one of these anyway in like the spring, and this one just lines up perfectly. So I'm like, I'm going to go do that. I dropped off a bunch of equipment that I don't need, and then I went back through a couple of my boxes that I carry. Like usually I carry these for camping, but I carried them at the Columbus show too. Like, and it was a good move. I brought my coffee my kitchen box. It's got my coffee grinder in it, like a cast iron skillet, shit that I use a lot. And then I've got my pantry box, which is like just a mix of like food, shelf stable food items and stuff like that I carry. All my seasonings are in there and stuff like that. So I keep all that together. So this way I'm like, we can do groceries. I don't have to buy this stuff because that shit's expensive. You know, I'm like, we're good to go. You just buy the ingredients. We're good to go. And we should be pretty good. I think we're going to be in good shape. I got that all set. I have to go do some charging of batteries. I did talk last week about how I was really concerned about the fact that I lost my plate on my trailer for the boat. Yes, and I have that temporary one. And I've been hearing from some people like they're not going to let you over with that. They're going to tell you to fuck off. And then I'm hearing from other people that they're like, no, if it's a paperwork all checks out, just should be good to go.
You're going to get a new one and all.
I did. I did.
Okay.
I went and I printed out the RTA, and I had gone to I went to old what is it? Ocean State Job Lot. Right.
Yeah.
We have one right in town. I'm in there all the time. Hey, I'm a white guy in my 40s. I'm in Ocean State like every other week. It just happens. So I go over there and I'm like, all right, so we're in business. This is good. And I saw something in the email flyer that comes out. It was a 3-pack of these PVC dry bags. I forget what the brand was, but I was like, okay, these seem pretty good. And the price was like unbelievable. It was like $25. And like the biggest one was like a 20 liter. I was like, beautiful. Because I'll tell you, after I bought those dry bags from, Thorny Creek, that was across from us at the expo in Columbus. I'm a believer, man. I store my bibs in a dry bag and they never leave the boat.
Yeah.
So they're always in the boat. And I was like, I'd like to get another 10 liter to put, because that's what I fit the bibs in, is a 10 liter. Like I just push them all the way down to the bottom and roll them up, and they're dry as can be. I'm like, that's perfect. I picked up a rain jacket in January, a heavy duty one, and I'm like, I'd like to keep that on the boat too, but I want to keep it dry. Like I don't want it to like get damp and then like get moldy or anything like that. Like I want to keep it dry while it's stowed away. So I'm looking around for one of these. Come to find out, at Ocean State, those specific products were online specials, and they were like ship to store pricing. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, what's the turnaround? I'll just order one right now. And he was like, probably 7 to 10 days. And I was like, well, fuck that. Because I'm like, I'm looking to have this, knowing, like Todd says like this, he goes 70 degrees on Thursday, 45 on Friday. The fish are going to be like, what the fuck? And then he goes, but the water's going to warm up. So who knows? I just want to have everything on the boat and be ready for it. And like, you know, that Friday is supposed to be like thunderstorms. Like it's going to be like everything in a boat is going to get soaked. So I'm like, I want to have all my shit, be ready to go, not have to worry about it, just be in a good spot. So I was like, I'll go to Dick's and I'll see what they've got. And they had a couple of like Gecko, I think that was the name of the brand, dry bags. They're lighter dry bags. They're not the PVC ones, but they'll do the job for in my storage.
Sure.
You know, I'm not submerging these things in water. Like the other ones that I have are very heavy duty. These are a little bit lighter. And I was like, okay, there's like a 3-pack. And I put one together, like the smallest one, for my my gloves and a hat. So that way I've got a knit cap on the boat at all times, you know? So if it's cold, I can pop that. I was like, yeah, this will stay dry. That'll be good. And then the rain jacket in the it's an 8 liter. I'm like, perfect. So I rolled that puppy up, stuffed that in there. That's all good to go. I was on the, so after I got all that together, there was a sale on Kitex.
Of course.
Dude, it was buy 4, get 2 free. I mean,
okay.
That was a good sale.
Right.
I was like, all right, yeah, let's diversify a little bit. And I got some staples, some things that I know that I use quite a bit. And I'm like, all right, that's good. Let's get out of here. So I left Dick's, and then I went up to the registry with my RTA. And everybody's in line to get their goddamn real IDs. That line came outside the main entrance of the RMV and was around the corner. And I had like 30 minutes before I had to go and leave to get Delaney. And I'm like, fuck me. I'm like, nope, not today. So my plan is I'm going to go there first thing after I drop her off at school tomorrow and just get that thing done. Yeah. And then I should be good to go. So then after doing that, I got home and cooked on the Blackstone for the first time in 2025.
Oh shit!
Today it was so nice. We made some smash burgers. It was pretty awesome. You know, It was just real simple, but it was nice to get that sucker heated up again. And
they just opened a new smash burger restaurant in Spencer.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. What the fuck's it called? Savage Smash Burgers.
Oh, really?
It's
okay.
Called.
All right.
Yeah, it's right. It's right. You know where Whitgo is? You know
Whitgo,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You ever heard of it?
Yep.
It's right. It's basically right next to there.
Gotcha. Oh, no kidding.
So
fucking
it used to be a Chinese spot.
I do love me a smash burger. I really do. I really, really do. So I go and I was out with the wet dry vac today, vacuuming out the boat, you know, because I got little fucking soft plastics and shit everywhere and all kinds of stuff. My boat is cleaner than most people have ever seen it right now. It's like, so you hear that, Todd? You are getting the best that Bobby Roast Beef can give you as far as boat presentation. I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
I'll fucking take it. So yeah, we are ready. We're talking, you know, plan of attack. I think the backup plan, like if like the wind and if the conditions on Saturday are absolute like dangerous, like sketchy, I think we're gonna hit the St. Clair River. I think that's the plan. But I mean, we could also like, you know, that game plan could change. I am leaving the house at like 3 a.m. on Friday. And my plan is I just want to get into the area as quickly as I can and then check in. But I want to have enough time where if just in case they're like, oh yeah, you host that show, Jigs and Big.
You're a piece of shit. We're not letting you in this fucking country.
And then I've got to go all the way back around. I want to have the time to be able to do that and not waste all of Friday.
Right.
Because, Todd says he nailed his walleye are biting, so we'll have that. You're goddamn right, we will. You are goddamn right. And while I was cleaning up my truck, you know what I found today? When I was in Cayuga, at the main office of this campground where we were staying, there was a little store, a little camp store, and they sold a bunch of fishing tackle, like all kinds of stuff. And there was this, I forget the brand, but there is this like, it's like a moon eye jerkbait or something like that. It's probably a little bit larger than a 110. It's probably designed more for like pike than anything else, but it is the coolest fire tiger pattern I have ever seen.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to pick one of these up just to have around because that's pretty fucking cool looking. And I found it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, this thing might play, for some of those walleye perhaps. Who knows? It'd be interesting.
Hell yeah.
It'd be fucking interesting. So, that was my week right there. It's been a roller coaster ride for sure, but I ain't complaining. In fact, you know what, Joe? Now that I think about it, one of the things that I was talking with Leah is that there is talk about me doing some events on the base, like a tournament, a trivia tournament.
Really?
Yeah. She like I think the idea is to have like the different shops kind of competing over a series, and she's like, could you like do something where the scores
I work
get
with
saved?
a bunch of idiots.
She's like, I think it'd be fucking great. You never know, man. You know how this game is. Oh man,
we'll rig it. It'll be a rigged game.
You guys didn't hear shit. You didn't hear shit.
God damn it.
Edit that out.
Cut that. So, I mean, that was my week. I'm not upset with it at all. It is what it is. And I've got something amazing cooking this weekend. I'm going to try and get out to fish this week, but I'm also not going to kill myself to do it. I'm just going to go and just have at it, the best that I can. But we got a couple of headlines.
Yeah, I plan on fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do plan on fishing this weekend, so I will be out, but I do have a headline. I got one headline. The second one I'm going to hold off on, but I do have, this is one that I wanted to talk about last week,
That's
but
right.
good old Brock took up all of our time.
Fucking Brock.
All right, Bob, you ready for this one?
I am.
This one kind of surprised me. You know who would be upset about this is our good friend of the show, Nelson.
Oh,
you ready?
Okay.
He would not be happy about this. Massachusetts just banned most shark fishing from land, blaming anglers who want that viral video with great white sharks. A classic case of one person shits their pants, we all gotta wear diapers. So the crackdown in Massachusetts is meant to address conflicts between surf anglers and beachgoers. The new rules come as other coastal states eye similar restrictions around land-based shark fishing. Fisheries officials in Massachusetts don't want anglers targeting great white sharks, especially not from public beaches. And they just approved new regulations to crack down on the practice ahead of the upcoming season. Under the new rules, which were recommended by the state's Division of Marine Fisheries and approved by the Massachusetts Marine Fisheries Fisheries Advisor on Thursday, land-based shark fishing with certain gear is now banned on Cape Cod and most of the surrounding coastline. Fishing with drones and other mechanized devices like remote control boats is also banned statewide for all rod and reel fishing. Massachusetts' stricter rules build on existing state regulations, and officials say they will allow for better enforcement of those regs, according to the Boston Herald. Keeping great white sharks has been illegal in the Bay State since 2005, and emergency regulations enacted in 2015 further prohibited anglers from even targeting the species. But these rules have been difficult to enforce since anglers who hook great whites could say they were just targeting another shark species. And sometimes they were. So by banning land-based shark fishing along the sections of coastline where great white sharks are most abundant, officials have effectively closed that regulatory loophole. Jared Silva, fisheries policy analyst for Massachusetts Division of Fisheries, clarifies the crackdown is really a prohibition on certain kinds of gear, namely the wire leaders and big hooks that are needed to land great white sharks. It's really the heavier gear we targeted. The 18-inch or greater wire or metal leader, and the 5/8-inch hook. Silver tells Outdoor Life, the guys that are fishing lighter gear on and around Cape Cod, they'll be totally unaffected. He explains that the heavier gear that is now banned around Cape Cod and the surrounding coastline is really only needed to land great whites, and that most anglers would be unable to land a great white shark without it. Importantly, Silva says anglers can still surf fish for other species in the areas where the stricter rules are in place, and they can even target other non-protected sharks like threshers, as long as they aren't using wire leaders longer than 18 inches or hooks larger than 5/8 inches. The active ban stretches from the northernmost point of Plymouth Beach down to Cape Cod and around the Outer Cape, including all of Chatham Harbor and Monomoy Island. The coastal areas around South Cape and the islands, which are known to hold fewer great whites but are home to other legally catchable shark species, are excluded from this ban. The approved regulations mirror some of the stricter rules that have been enacted in other coastal states where shark fishing from shore is becoming a victim of its own popularity. The huge increase in surf anglers catching and posting with sharks, or posing with sharks for, the gram, as they called it, has brought a lot of unwanted attention to what was a secretive pastime. Land-based shark fishing has become one of the most overblown, ego-driven gong shows in fishing.
I agree.
This comes from Outdoor Life fishing editor Joe Kermelli, and he wrote this in 2022 after a popular beach town in New Jersey banned surf fishing for sharks during the summertime. All this commotion is destined to destroy the sport. It's not just public sentiment, but public safety that officials are concerned about. However, an incident that occurred on Cape Cod last fall is one example. And according to the Boston Herald, it is part of what precipitated the new rules that were approved by Massachusetts last week. The Province Independent reports that on September 28, 2024, there was a confrontation between surfers and group of land-based anglers who are allegedly targeting great white sharks on LeCount Hollow Beach. The anglers had been chumming off the beach that morning, and they used a drone to send their hook, line, and bait, which was a dead bluefish, out over and past the surfers. That's pretty fucked up. The surfers called the police, claiming they saw a giant shark surface near them, and that they'd gotten tangled in the anglers' lines. No charges were filed since the anglers had their licenses and said they were fishing for bass and stingrays. But the conflict shows how land-based shark fishing, done wrong, can be a threat or perceived threat to public safety.
Jesus Christ.
This is a large contingent of anglers on social media that are looking for that viral video of them shark fishing, particularly for white sharks. And Silva added that this is especially problematic during the summer months when the height of tourist season coincides with the peak great white shark activities around Cape Cod. Great whites have been returning in record numbers there since around 2015 when Fukushima happened. Just saying. My prepper and conspiracy brain. And they liked to hunt along the shallow beaches where both seals and humans are found. They can't coexist, Silva said, referring to beachgoers and land-based shark anglers. It's just a huge public safety issue. And that's that.
It's kind of ironic that we're talking about this after we just talked about how, like, the tournament you were going to fish on Saturday was canceled and everybody was like, oh, it's bullshit, blah, 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 blah. The thing is like that line in there about like shore-based shark fishing being like one of the most ego-driven, it's 100% accurate. Like there's probably no bigger dick measuring contest in fishing than shark fishing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's become huge on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. All of a sudden it's like, it's a new big thing.
Yep.
It does suck because I'm sure there's some guys that were out there, you know, minding their own business, you know, trying to stay. There's always the couple of assholes that ruin it for everybody.
That's exactly
it. Like the guys who are on the beach casting over people that are actively surfing.
Yeah. Chumming with like whole seals and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you can't. That's just being an asshole.
Yeah, you can't.
Like, there's no reason why you couldn't go over to a different spot or whatever.
Seals.
Just seal clubbing. Like, oh no, I'm native. I'm native. It's okay. It's legal. Stop doing a baseball bat. Just fucking. Use this one.
Like, and I get it. I understand what they're talking. So it was what, a 5/16 inch of a hook?
Oh no, it was bigger than that.
It was,
I think it was 5/8.
5/8. Okay, so 5/8. So go with a half-inch hook. Go with a half-inch hook, and you'll be legal.
Right.
And go with a 16-inch wire leader.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you can't.
So it's, you know, in outdoor life here, they totally, you know, it was total clickbait for me. And then, you know, you read into it, it's like, oh, so I just need to very like minutely downsize a little bit.
Fucking Jay. He goes, P-Town still okay? He goes, some big ones down there, boys. And he says, mostly bottom feeders, though, not great whites. And Jay, you're almost there. Those are power bottoms, bud.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Different entirely.
Yep. BFS is fine still. Bobby's going to be BFS fishing for great whites.
Fucking whites. For fucking giant man-eating sharks. Fucking... I'm throwing a 1/64 ounce jig.
What's that fucking blade bait you use? That PFS blade bait? Yep, this perch color is definitely going to work on these great whites.
You know how fucking ridiculous? I would need a drone to get the line all the way out. There's no way I could cast past the
they didn't say nothing about kayaks, Bobby.
Oh, that's true too. My God. I don't know. Like, I understand like the thrill of like going after like the biggest target. Dude, I like to pike fish.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really is. It's an adrenaline rush. It totally is.
Yeah.
The problem with it is that you're right. Like, it becomes the buzz thing on, you know, there's nothing that's going to get more views than like for fishing content than giant fish, giant fish with teeth, giant fish that could legitimately harm you. You know what I mean? And and I get it. You know what I mean? That's, people are like, they're looking for that rush for themselves to catch it, but also like, they're like, well, I could put this on YouTube. I could put this on TikTok, and it would get so much fucking attention. This could be really cool. And I totally get it. Like, I 100% get it. But it's like, at some point or another, you got to think about like, is it worth it? Am I going to risk? Like, when I go out and I'm making content and I'm posting stuff, like, I'm not worried about people going like, oh, that chain pickerel pattern he was on, I got to get me some of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's going to be the thing. But dude, that's shitty, man. Let's fucking make more fucking rules. But
it's crazy.
That's how you could get away with
how
it.
great whites are all over the place here all of a sudden, dude.
Joe, here's what we're going to do. You and I, we're going to go into business. We're going to make 16-inch leader kits. And we're going to...
17, dude. We'll just do
17.
We'll do 17 and a half.
Yes. 17 and a half inch leaders with like extra heavy duty hardware and shit like that. We'll make them fucking like significant.
Yep.
And we'll get an old food truck and we'll stock it and we'll just like go up and down the fucking boardwalks and shit. These people see us. We'll be playing once bitten, twice shy.
We'll bend like 6/10 fucking hooks.
Yeah. Just enough. Oh, I can't believe that. I say I can't believe it. I 100% can believe it. I mean, that's just the way it works. It's like, oh, you guys are having a good time and there's going to be a problem for, tourism. I get it. Like, tourism is a lot of money on the Cape, A
lot of, that's all the money on the Cape. Because if it's
money.
not tourist season.
It's fentanyl.
That's it, dude. It's fentanyl. A lot of people don't realize that there's a documentary about the heroin and fentanyl and
the opiate epidemic on Cape Cod is fucking
on
real.
Cape Cod.
It's a thing.
Not many locals at Cape Cod that don't have a problem.
It's true. Did someone say heavy duty leaders? John Connor. Oh my goodness. So
hey, are you great white fishing? No, dude, I'm carp fishing.
There you go. These carp are something else, these huge fucking leaders. Rods and nods. My God, why? Oh, good Lord. Yeah, it's just, but that's the way the state works. And I mean, to their, I don't want to say like to their credit so much, but I guess like when you look at it from the shoe being on their foot, like they don't know a thing or two about fucking fishing at all. And lots of times when they're grasping at straws for ideas of like, okay, so how are we going to, like, they feel they're compelled to have to do something. So like, regulating like well, you can't use this and you can't use this. I mean, it's like they even said it themselves. Like some people are not targeting these fish, but they might hook a great white. So I have a feeling they're setting themselves up in a way where it's going to be like, yeah, you can't necessarily use this, but so you're just going to have to do it on finer shit. You know how much more viral those videos are going to go?
Oh, yeah.
I caught this on a shorter leader.
It's all because a couple dickheads were like, walked their way onto a packed ass beach and were like, this should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw hooking kids and shit.
Chumming with kids.
Chumming with kids.
We
got a floater.
You're always at the beach and you're like, there's like someone that's just like, oh, where am I going to put this fucking dirty diaper? And you're like, well, I can use that for chum.
Yep.
I'm going to hell.
Oh, fucking
God.
Cape. Fucking Cape. I don't know how people like the vacation there.
I think the Cape is the best in the spring and fall. When nobody's fucking there.
Dude.
It's beautiful. Shit, I went camping in the Cape in December and it was fantastic.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Dude, you know what people don't realize about the Cape?
What's that?
It's a fucking 2-lane road to get there.
That's
on the
worst
fucking
part.
bridge.
Yeah.
You got to go over the canal. You got 5 million cars trying to go on a 2-lane fucking bridge.
Oh, yeah. All this traffic just going like
all at the same time for some reason.
It's true, man. It is. It is unbelievable. I mean, that's massive. That's living in New England. Oh, let's go to the Cape.
I can't imagine Dan Griffin brings his big ass fucking 5th wheel camper that's bigger than my goddamn house over that bridge.
It's got to be sketchy like the first time you do it. I got to give Dan credit, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's got fucking brass ones.
Yeah.
That's because it's regardless if it's the Bourne or the Sagamore, like either one of those bridges are sketch. Like you're gonna go over.
Yeah, they're both the same.
They're super narrow, and you're like up and over. You're like, oh hi canal.
I thought about that, like when we were supposed to have our tournament. I'm like, oh my God, going over that bridge with the boat's gonna blow.
I've done it, and it's not the worst, but like with with a big camper, like if it's windy, I would be on the edge of my seat that whole time. Yep. That's just fucking brutal, man. Yeah, so if you're looking to shark fish for great whites, it ain't gonna happen unless you buy Joe and Bobby's 17 3/4 inch leaders, and we'll call them fraction hooks, where they're just a fraction less than what's gonna get you thrown in jail.
Don't forget about our 6/10 hook. Stainless steel.
Stainless. 100%.
Stainless.
Why don't we go ahead? We'll take a short break. We're going to come back around, and we don't have a tip this week for you guys, but we do have not one but two FTGs from two longtime listeners, and one of these FTGs specifically is going to hit home for a number of our listeners. I think this could shake some shit up. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far. More Jigs and Bigs coming up right after this. Before we jump into the FTGs this week, of which in segment number 2, we have not just one, but two different ones to play for you. We should mention that, of course, the one and only Paul, the Jabberhammer from the Bassett Brewers podcast, who is the voice in that FTG Open. The unthinkable happened, I guess, just this last week. Alex, Swamp Rat Fishing, went to North Carolina, and they recorded an episode together. They went and they camped, and they've never met in person.
No shit.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I can't believe
realize that.
And Paul had shared, he was like, did Alex show up? Who knows? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, did he not show? I don't know. So I'm excited to see what this episode is about. I haven't heard it yet, so I'm going to go and give it a listen, but we'll figure it out. It'll be all pretty good. Let's jump into this though and listen to our first. Now this is from one of our past guests who was on not that long ago, Hunter. You guys remember hearing from Hunter? He is further out west from us, and he's got some grievances.
Hi, Jigs and Bigs. This is Hunter Cummins over here in Iowa. I have maybe a FTG of the day, maybe. I don't know. It's up to you guys, I guess. Anyhow, I was fishing this local pond, just trying to get one of these bass to hit, and I looked over and I start seeing all these water splashes everywhere. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I soon realized I looked a little bit to my left, and there is this guy decided to start hitting golf balls towards my direction, getting near me. And I did have one very close, and of course, I had to deal with, I don't know if he was just practicing or what, but you shouldn't be hitting golf balls quite literally in the pond or even at me, so fuck that guy, for real. Well, y'all, tight lines, everyone. Good luck. Stay safe, and HP Tricky's out.
Yeah, fuck that guy for sure. That's
I've seen that happen before.
I have to wonder, is the guy that good at the driving range where he was hitting these balls out so far he could not see Hunter in his kayak? Is it that kind of stuff? Because I could almost excuse that. Still stupid. Why? Because if you're hitting these balls out that far where you can't see somebody, I'm like, fuck that. I would 100%. If you ever want to get them back, you know what works really good with golf balls? A tennis racket. Keep a tennis racket in the back of and then just smack a few golf balls back at him. He'll be like, what the ever living fuck is this?
Jay has a good one. He was probably at a golf course pond.
You know what? Yeah. That's an excellent observation. That's the thing. If you are at a golf course pond, who's really the FTG at that point? Todd says, I'd be bringing my driver and some tees next time. Jay Manning says, did he yell 4? If not, FTG. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. That's really fucked up. I'd be pissed. I'd for sure be pissed about that. That's almost as stupid. Let's just assume this wasn't anywhere near a golf course or anything where this would make sense.
Yeah.
Let's just assume this guy was at the ramp or on a beach, just cracking golf balls out into the pond. If that's the situation, right? That's as stupid as washing your car at the ramp. 100%.
Yeah, I've seen it at a local spot. This guy has a little a tee on his yard. He lives on the lake, so you can see that he obviously, hits balls into the lake. Yeah.
He's got a great pastime, is what you're saying. He's fucking loser.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets 6 beers at him. He's like, all right, let's see what guy can hit.
Oh my God. I'm not a golf guy. I know that there are fishermen that are out there, anglers that are like, they like both, but I'm not that guy. And I will be honest, it is because I am terrible at it. I don't have the patience for it. It's crazy.
I used to be pretty good at golf.
Really?
I used to golf a lot.
No kidding.
Yep.
Todd says, sounds like he need a consult from Josh from Dark Horse. Yeah, might be a good idea. So now this next FTG, this just came in, by the way. We started recording at 7:15. I think we got a little bit of a late start tonight. Mm-hmm. This call came in at 5 of 7, and I was setting up the show to do the live stream for the jig heads, and I got this notification that we had a voicemail. I was like, oh wow, and then I got the TikTok that this speaks about from John. He sent it to me. So let's go ahead and see what John Hagens has to say in this voicemail right here.
What's happening, Jigs and Pigs? This is John Hagens. It is 6:55 p.m. on Monday, and I was just on TikTok, and I came across a video by Bassmaster Kevin Van Dam, and he was downgrading catfishermen. As you well know, I do a whole lot of catfishing, and his TikTok message was that catfishermen with their gas station reels and Walmart duct taped Walmart rods using hot dogs, sitting on the bank all day with Bush Light and hot dogs is not fishing. It's loitering with snacks. He said there is no skill that goes into catfishing. We just sit there and stink. Well, there's a lot more that goes into it. And as far as Walmart rods and gas station reels, I've spent at least $500 on a couple of my setups. And as far as dragging a 30-pound mud-covered stinking catfish caught on hot dog off the bottom, piss on you. I'm going to tell you right now, it takes a lot more skill, time, and effort to find a 30 to 40-pound flathead or blue cat than it does to take a fucking ditch pickle out of a fucking creek. That's no offense to any of my bass fisherman friends. We all like what we like, but to downgrade somebody else because they don't fish for what you fish for, and not all of us ride in $80,000 boats. No offense, Joseph. We still don't downgrade bass fishermen for what they love. So, with that being said, fuck you, Kevin Van Dam. Fuck your bass boat. Fuck your bass masters. Eat a dick. And that's my fucking FTG. Sorry for the language. Thanks.
Jay Manning says it best.
To be fair, KVD does rock the worst fucking bass boat made. So
what is he, a Triton guy?
Nitro.
Oh, he's
fucking
a Nitro
trash.
guy. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Trash.
So I like what Jay has to say here. He goes, I like Dark John. I like that. And then Tim Behan goes, no skill in catfishing. Look at the leaderboard. Not many anglers can catch them. You know what, dude? That's 100% right. And I'm going to throw this out there. Now, I know KVD is like fully retired, or I'm I don't really.
Yeah, from events.
From events. Okay, but he still has sponsors, right?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, his sponsors probably make fucking gear that catfishermen use. And his sponsors probably wouldn't like the fact that he poo-poos some of the fucking equipment required to catch record-breaking catfish. And, I mean, if you want to go one further, this is just the show about measuring dicks.
That's it.
Bass anglers have this idea. And this is a technique.
I'm really surprised he did this. Yeah.
I love bass fishing. I love fishing with artificials. I love the gear. Like I love it. But bass anglers need to get off their high horse because the world of fishing is so much bigger. You want to feel
I don't
humble.
disagree with that.
Yeah. Talk to a marlin fisherman.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of like effort and work that goes into like it's just
tuna guys.
Fucking crazy. The tuna guys. Oh my fucking Christ. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Almost any saltwater angler. Go talk to fucking
when
Brock.
I caught those barracuda, dude. When I caught those barracuda, I was like, I don't know if I could ever fish for bass again.
It's a little bit nuts. And I mean, like I felt that way when I caught my first snakehead. I really did. I was like, holy fuck, I didn't know a chatterbait could be so fun. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I just feel like, you know, again, like, and he's out of the events. Like he's not involved that far anymore. So maybe the sponsors are just like, oh, he's getting old. He's maybe, you know, and there are people who do hate on fucking bass fishermen plenty. Bass fishing sucks on Instagram, does a great job of it and calls out a lot of the horse shit. You know what I mean?
Page,
Me too. I fucking absolutely love it. Someday we're going to get whomever is behind that. And I'm convinced we already know who it is. I think it's somebody in our circle. I genuinely do. And if I'm wrong, fucking, I want to know. You know what I mean? I want to know. Your secret's safe with me. But I'm saying there are a lot of people that fucking, and there is, and I understand how they get frustrated with bass anglers because there is a lot of superiority complex when it comes to it.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a little bit odd because it seems like with like fly fishermen, there's a superiority complex there too, you know, with like tying the flies and like the knowledge of like different hatches and, you know, all these other types of things that like come into it. Like it's a whole separate world, but you know what? They fucking seem to take it a whole lot better than the bass anglers do. People shit on fly fishermen a lot. And,
100%.
And they seem to take it fine. You know, and I think that like, you know, for somebody like KVD to go and say something like this, like how many of his fans also catfish? Like,
sure.
It's crazy. That was just a dumb thing to say. And then I'm sure he's going to come out and be like, I never said that. That was AI. Somebody on ChatGPT made a fucking video that said, you know, hey, maybe that's the case. But like, that's just crazy. So I understand why John gets fired up, you know, with an FTG like that. But I'm sure that there are a lot of people that listen to the show that are just like, holy fuck. Kevin Van Dam. What the fuck? Fuck. You know? And Tim makes a really great point. Yeah. Look at the leaderboard. He's like, usually a catfish is what people are kind of scrambling, you know, because I don't fucking understand it. Or we catch them accidentally, you know, fishing with artificials. Oh my God. I've only caught a handful of them with artificials, you know, but I go throw a night crawler. Done. Channel cat, you know?
Or a hot dog.
Oh yeah. I don't know, man. I hate fucking throwing bait that I would eat. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm throwing like, you know, I mean, really, I'm a fucking disgusting human being. I eat a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But like when people are just like, oh yeah, I'm throwing shrimp. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Shrimp are great. Get a little cocktail sauce, maybe make a scampi, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Todd says I catch them on bass jigs in the summer. You know, there is a style of fishing for catfish using bass jigs that I picked up from, was it Al Lintner? I think it might have been Al Lintner. And it was jig fishing like log jams with a piece of cut bait on the back of a jig and just like, it's like the 4-wheel drive of hooks. Let's go ahead and put it down in this jam and see what happens. It's just, I just think it's kind of crazy he even said that, but.
There's a ton of catfish where I'm going down in Georgia, so I'm sure there's a good chance I'll hook into one.
Used pepperoni for cats. I could see, although that's really oily and it's got a strong kind of scent, you know, and the spiciness I'm sure is pretty good. I've caught blues and flats on rapalas. I mean, those are two species of catfish we have nowhere around here. I'm jealous. Yeah.
I'm
I'm old school, man. I'm a chicken liver guy, when I'm fishing for cats and those and night crawlers, But up here, like, we don't have the giant cats that you can get in other parts of the country, man. And those are wild, especially the flatheads. Oh my God, dude. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's freaking nuts.
Closest we get is we got some channels in the Connecticut River, but they still don't. Even those ones,
and we'll
don't get.
I'll bet you some of the bigger channels can break 20, 25.
Yeah.
Something like that. And that's a great size fish. But for the scavenger hunt, they're great. But I mean, again, like, you got to travel a little ways to get into a blue, and even further, I think, to get into a flathead, which is rough.
Yeah.
There are white catfish up here. I don't think they're on the board though. Yeah, they're not. They're not one of them that's on the board. So it is what it is, man. And again, one of these days, I'm going to go and fish for these other species. These other cats that we just don't have in the area, just to get on them. But Todd says we have channels. Never seen a flathead. I want to say, like, from what I've heard, the flatheads fight like they're strong fucking fish. And it's pretty intense. Although I've seen some really big blues too, out of in the DC area, like the Delaware River and stuff. Oh yeah, there's some fucking big ones over there.
There's a couple guys on TikTok.
When I first started fishing, I was like, that was kind of the direction I kind of was like, yeah, that's what really had me interested, because I'd see these videos of these people like posting up in a boat under a bridge, and just like soaking a bunch of bait, and then, hooking like a 60 or an 80-pound catfish. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sign me up. That's awesome. I'd love to do that. Go catch one absolute giant. But there's one river in northern New Jersey with flats. Really? I didn't know that. That's nuts. That's good to know. That is really good to know.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's news to me. But we'll have to, I don't know, maybe a road trip. Anyway, guys, before we get into this next segment, we got Bandon White, YP the God on Instagram. We have a great conversation. We talk all kinds of stuff. We talk about a little bit about BFS fishing. He's kind of dipping his toe in there. We talk about his history with fishing. We exchange some stories. We talk about fish whistle preferences and activities, which is a conversation that I hadn't really had with many guests before. But this was a really good one. I think I'm going to have to start having more of that conversation with folks, because I find it to be very interesting. That interview is coming up in just a bit. Stick around after that, because we've got some other stuff that we got to talk about. And also, just as a reminder, if you got to this point in the show and you're like, oh, what's this all about? This week is huge, by the way. The first of the 2025 monthly slot limit tournament event dates is this Saturday on the 19th. Go over to Fishing Chaos and search Jigs and Bigs, and you'll find us there. You can also just, there's links right in the description of the podcast. If you want to register, go ahead and register for this sucker, because it's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be bananas. We'll take a short break, guys. We're going to come back after that interview. We'll wrap this sucker up, and we'll see you guys in just a bit. All right, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, here we are, Jigs and Bigs. We have an interview segment this week, and I like to put this kind of an interview in we'll call this like a Jigs and Bigs listener angler profile right here. And this is all about getting to know our audience, and Bandon, my guest this week, is no stranger to Jigs and Bigs. In fact, of all the listeners that are out there, your name has been thrown around a lot on the show, and it's quite simply because you engage so much with us, Bandon. It's the one and only YP the God on Instagram, Bandon White. How about a round of applause, everybody? Bandon, how you doing today, buddy? How's your weekend started?
Things is things, man. Can't complain. Just just work, waiting for this weather to figure out what it wants to do. It's like 1 minute it's here, 1 minute it's like, nah, we're gonna go back, and then snow, a little bit of snow in some parts in my county, and I'm like, huh? And, like, the world's ending.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, how early in the season did you get started this year?
And as soon as the ball dropped, I went to Walmart, got my fishing license, and try to find
Yep.
open water as best I can. And you know the situation. We
Oh
over here
yeah.
talked before. We're like, yeah, the river don't freeze, yada yada. And then all of a sudden, like the river froze. And then I saw people walking on the Delaware like by me. They were walking on like where the ice is frozen, but like you could walk out into the water where there's open. I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's sketchy, man. You don't want to fool around with that, dude. Oh yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, I was in southern Jersey. I was in the Pinelands, and we had ice on every spot that we went to go and attempt to fish. We had all of these ice flows piling up against the boat ramp, so we weren't able to get out on the Delaware. It was rough, but I mean, how you been doing as far as getting out there? Have you been out there since you've had open water?
Yeah, I've been out there trying to, I got the little one, so trying to mix it here and there. I try to go on break. I got a little pond
Yep.
right up the street from my job, so it's like literally perfect. Just pack a sandwich, pack whatever, eat real quick, go up there, try to catch something. They stocking with a lot of trout,
Yep.
bass, bluegill, a lot of different stuff, a lot of different areas. There's like a reservoir that has like lake trout, like trout
Mm-hmm.
trophies over
Oh,
there
all
and
right.
stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stuff,
Nice.
a lot of stuff. It's quiet
So
in New
let's.
Jersey, but there's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, you guys definitely have like variety. There's if you're willing to look around for it, there's variety of different species. And that's why I like, you're really enthusiastic about the multi-species aspect. And I think that, I applaud you, and I think more anglers would do themselves a solid if they just open themselves up to targeting a little bit of everything. You can turn a day where maybe one species is kind of a little bit more dormant, or you want to get out there early, but maybe those cold water species are more like the jam as far as actually getting something to bite. There's a whole lot of adventure that's out there. Let's get to the beginning of it. How were you introduced to fishing, and when was it that you kind of got like bit with the bug where you're pretty serious about it right now?
So I got bit with the bug because of my brother-in-law. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
there's always my sister-in-law, like she fishes. My wife don't fish at all. Like it's like they're like night and day. They're like one's like adventurous outside, touches worms. Other one's like,
Yep.
get that away from me. I don't want to touch. Nope, nope. Mm-mm.
Yep. All right.
So I went trout fishing with him. He works. He's a manager at a car wash and stuff. So somebody threw
Mm-hmm.
out a rod or left a rod. He was like, "Hey, you want to go fishing?" So we did that. Went to the little spot on the Prequest, this little trout where they stock trout river that goes into the Delaware and stuff. So
Yep.
so I'm over here doing that. Put a worm on, threw it out. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm not gonna catch anything. Whatever. Also, I felt a thump. I'm like, no, I'm snagged. Whatever. All of a sudden, it just moved. I was like, yo, it's moving. All of a sudden, I'm reeling it in. Freaking out. I think like a 12, 16-inch trout first catch.
That's awesome.
And
Did you keep
then
it?
nah, I threw it back because I was just like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know how
Oh,
to
of course.
touch it,
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
know how to
blame you.
handle it. And I'm like, all
Oh
right, put it
yeah.
back. And then we went to Florida, and this is what really got me. We went to Florida, to Tampa Bay. So we were
Yep.
on vacation. So and then we rented out this place. It was like literally right on the channel to the Tampa. I don't even know. It was some channel, and we're just this place had rods and stuff. He was like, let's fish. We did some night fishing,
Oh, that's
and that's
great.
when I caught that catfish
Yep.
that thing fought. And that's what got me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I could definitely see that, man. And that's all it takes is like really just one fish to kind of grab you and like pun intended to hook you, and then that's it. You're just what can you do at that point? I mean, you're all in at one point. Now, is there a favorite species of yours, like a fish that Well, we'll make this a two-parter. Like, what's your favorite species that you've caught and that you'd like to target now? And then what's like on your bucket list? Like, what are you looking to catch?
So, like, my favorite species, I would say, is the bass. So,
Yep.
all types of bass. I want to catch all types of bass. Just, I want to go catch a striper. I want to catch a black sea bass. I want to go down to Florida. I want to catch a peacock bass. I want to catch a spotted bass. I want to catch them all, like all the bass.
Yep.
That's my goal.
I got you. Yep.
And then my bucket list, man, like the same thing. I just want to catch it all, like catch them all, and just be like. So I wasn't never really a Pokemon fan. Like I was, like I liked it, but I was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Yeah.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
So I'm just like, okay, like I like collecting them. It's like taking pictures, and it's like, all right, I caught this one, I caught this one, I caught this one. It's just memories, and just because my grandfather fished and stuff. So that's what.
Yep.
And I'm a big competitive guy, and I wasn't catching anything. So my brother and him will always catch stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like
Screw this.
I'm not.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been there.
And then I was like, man, I would just gave it a shot.
It's wild too, because like I remember as a kid, like I'd fish with my folks, and I'd be fishing with my dad or a couple of my cousins or something, and I didn't have the patience for it. 'Cause of course, like most of them fish where they're throwing a worm and trying to catch some trout. You know what I mean? It's very much a passive type of thing, and I can appreciate that now that I'm older. Obviously, it's a different style of fishing. It's to me, it's like that's why I like things like carp fishing and catfishing. But the real style of fishing that I enjoy the most is the challenge of throwing like an artificial lure, like something like a jig or a plastic, and actively trying to trick these fish. That really appeals to me, and I think that actually. There's a lot of people that kind of fit in that camp, I think, so it's like, and then when and initially I think popular belief is like, oh, if I'm throwing artificial lures, I'm bass fishing. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. But in reality, when you realize the world is your oyster, like they'll all eat if you just present them something that's the right size. Primarily, that's what it gets down to, is like present them something that's the right size and make sure that they're in that body of water and you can get them to eat. You mentioned competitiveness. Do you have goals of getting into any type of tournament fishing at all? Anything like that? Have you done any tournaments yet?
Nah, my first tournament, I'm gonna do the slot limit tournament this coming week. So
nice.
That's the first one. Yeah, I'm a competitive guy. I played basketball, football, and in high school, all the way from like 6 years old, 5 years old, and then I played arena football after too. I played semi-pro arena football. Yeah.
No kidding, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. You gotta be some type of crazy. I tell people this all the time. Like you gotta be some type of crazy to play in. Pretty much barbarian football, I call it, like gladiator football. You got a wall and it's not out of bounds. Like the wall is your extra defender. I play quarterback. So people were just trying to take my head off.
You got the target on your back the whole game. And how any injuries? I find when I talk to people who play semi-pro, there's like a laundry list of injuries. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I can say I am good. I stopped playing because of like I had my son.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And then traveling with him, and then doing the sleep schedule, and I was just like, all right, nuts. Like let me chill. And then I was like, all right, when he's 2 years old, 3 years old, I'll probably get back into it. And then it was like, now I'm having another son.
Yeah, oh, dude, that's how it is. Now, as a father, have you taken your kids out fishing yet, or are you gonna, kind of develop yourself a little bit more, let them get a little bit older before you take them out?
He's been out with me before. Like he came with my wife to visit me when I was on break. So we went up to the pond and stuff, and he was holding the rod. Every time he sees a lure, he'd be like, "Daddy, fishy, fishy." So he sees it. He tries to reel the
Oh yeah,
yeah. He likes to do what Daddy does. He likes to
that's
do what
awesome,
Daddy
man.
does.
It's funny too, because like I can remember, and my father actually gave me this lure many years later. It was only a few years ago that he gave me this lure, but I was always interested. I remember my dad had this huge tackle box, the hard plastic like toolbox style that you open up and it's got the shelves that lift out.
Hmm.
And he had this, it was a crawler and it was a bat pattern. It was like a gray and black bat with the wings. And I was absolutely enamored with this lure. I thought this was the coolest looking thing I've ever seen. Of course, when I was like really young, my big thing was like the classic movie monsters, stuff like that. So anything that had to do with like bats and spiders or anything like that, I was all about. And he's like, yeah, yeah, but these fish, they won't eat anything like that. Come to find out, many years later, I don't know that my dad really knew what he was talking about back then. When you're a little kid, you think that your dad's like a genius. You know what I mean? Like he knows everything. But like after talking, he's just I think that he really was just like buying the stuff and acquiring it. And like, oh yeah, well this might work, and this might work, and this might work. I mean, we fish now, and it's a whole other ballgame. It's such a great time. But like, yeah, a few years later, he gave me that bait, and I've got it. It's on my desk downstairs. I'm going to put together a little display box of some of the antique baits that I've come across, or the baits that have like some like sort of sentimental value. Some of them I've caught like PBs on, and then I've broken them off, so I have to kind of like rebuild it. But yeah, I want to put some kind of a display together because there is something about fishing that's a little bit like for the collector, or for the sentimental person. Like there's that element there that like the gear kind of holds a little something to you. With that said, I'm also the guy that's like, when I pick up something new, and I'm like, I'm going to throw this, I'm going to throw it into the sketchiest stuff possible, because that's where the fish are. And I'm not making any kind of a promise that that's going to come back. I might lose it. That's just the way it is. And it sucks when it's like a $25 jerk bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's just a part of it. Now, you and I have been talking a lot about BFS back and forth, probably for the last couple of months. What was your sort of like, what kind of tipped you off to wanting to dabble a little bit in that world? And then we'll talk about some gear.
So what tipped me off, it was like I like to try new things and like and just and like see what it is and find out what it's all about. Because like I like the spinning combo, and I was like, yo, like I just want to be quick, precise. Like it's just like just the football in me, because I was a coach too. I coached a little bit for little kids and stuff too. So it was just like, because I was like, let me look into it. So I just did some digging, and then I heard aggressively average anglers talked about it. I was like, let me dive into what they're got to say, because they were big into it. Then I looked at tactical bass and stuff, and I'm just like, I heard you talk about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm pulling the trigger. I'm pulling the trigger. Let me see. Let me see. Let me look. Let me look into see what it is all about. Watch a lot of videos on YouTube. And then the crazy thing is, I was following Roar Fishing, and I didn't. When you mentioned it, I was like, "Oh, I was already following this guy." Like,
oh yeah.
And then I'm like, "Okay, go ahead."
He's like the guy in your, not even just in your area, but just like in the country. Like he is on it when it comes to everything finesse presentation, like especially the imported stuff, whether it's like Euro Tackle or it's JDM. Like he's just on it right away, and he's so good with kind of like reviewing the different presentations. Like I love his bait like rigging technique, like close-up stuff that he does. And it's so unbelievably helpful. Like he is a huge resource. And I mean, like we gotta have Jimmy on the show, because he is great. He is absolutely great.
Yes.
So and it's funny because it was like tactical bass, and and aggressively average anglers that really got me kind of thinking about BFS. And it was for a lot of the same reasons that you just mentioned, being able to cast precisely and more efficiently. You know, have you gone out? I know you just put a combo together. What are you rocking for your combo?
So my combo, I got the Cast King Sepher setup and stuff. So I was like something budget friendly, you know what I mean? So I was like, so I can get used to. and then I got the with the BFE and I got the Daiwa tattoo.
You went in. I
I
can't say I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Because I was just like, all right, I got this. So you know what could hurt? What could hurt?
Yeah, you got to give it a go. Have you been out with this setup yet? What do you think so far?
No, I have not been out with it yet. I gotta go get it from my dad's house. I'm gonna go get it today probably and stuff. And I got the line and all that. So I'm just excited, man. I'm really excited. It's like I feel like a kid at a candy store. I never thought I would be this happy talking about fishing and just being a part of
It's
it.
wild.
And just being part of a community like this is just like hats off to you too, bro. Like I'll give you your flowers. Like you, in a short period of time, and you did on a big thing here, man.
That's my favorite thing about fishing is the community, and that's a major reason why I put the show out every single week. Is because that's the best part, of fishing. It's like it's the reason I bought a boat so that I could fish with other people and share that experience. It's like all that kind of stuff. I think it's just awesome, man. It's the biggest thing. And hearing that from you, it's like everything going full circle. It's like it's perfect. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you. As far as getting out there with BFS stuff, now I was going to ask you, and this is why I asked if you'd been out yet. Have you noticed any challenges or anything? But I will say this: I find now you also just got into bait casting equipment in general, right?
Yes.
Have you had any progress or any challenges like getting casting down or anything like that?
No, I am a very, very I'm just like very attention to detail type of guy. Like that just comes with like just being a competitor and also paying attention to detail at the position I played. Like quarterback, you have to know what everybody's doing on the field plus you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
So I'm like, okay, like how can I know my gear? And when I talked to you about baitcasters, I was like, nah, I don't want to pull the trigger yet because I don't know what I'm doing. And then you're like, just do it, man, just do it. And then I'm out in the backyard just casting,
yes,
just casting. I'm
perfect.
like, I got backlashes. I'm like, sometimes, some days I wanted to throw it. Went to the pond a couple times, started casting it. I'm like, yeah, I got a damn backlash. I'm like, okay, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I still backlash plenty of times. Like it's just one of those things that's going to happen, and it's I always like to say when people ask me about, they're like, so I can't. I'm having trouble like learning how to cast a bait caster and having it, not backlash, or the other way. They'll be like, I'm having no problem casting it, but like they've got their break set so far that they're getting it out like maybe 8-10 feet, and then it just drops. Like the bait's not going anywhere. And I'm like, it's a process. You got to start there to kind of get the action down, and then loosen things up just a little bit, and then loosen things up just a little bit more. And then once you develop that practice, and this was a challenge of keeping your thumb on that spool, it is so like that is so huge because there's techniques that you'll pick up like pitching. As a bank angler, that's where I learned how to pitch, was because I would be in these really weird spots, and even doing a side cast, I might not have the space to do it. So when I learned to pitch, I would loosen everything up on my spool. And what would get me all the time was I would forget that I was just pitching, and then I'd try to make like a bomb cast, and the spool would just explode because there were like no breaks whatsoever. And it's a lot of that is just like you said, attention to detail, like figuring that kind of stuff out. But learning how to pitch is like a huge step, you know, and then getting accuracy with that. Like I like to call that a fun backyard game. Like I think the next Jigs and Bigs, like Fishy Trivia live event that happens, I think we're going to do like a pitch contest for like bonus points in between rounds.
That'd be nice.
With like a coffee can. Nice. Yeah, just we might as well do it. But I feel, and this is, I may be wrong with this because I've seen a lot of other content creators putting their stuff out when in terms of bait finesse. I have a strong opinion that you will backlash that much more with bait finesse. And it's all about how light that spool is. It can just get away from you so fast. And the one tip I try to tell everybody is it is a different type of casting compared to your typical bait casting setups where it's all about the wrist. It's almost like throwing a Frisbee, you know? That rod will load up way, way easier than you think it will. And you just kind of snap it. And it's, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's so different. But I will also say that I've had backlashes way more often with bait finesse, but they're somehow easier to pick out, even though that braided line that I use is so small. They're somehow easier to pick out. Like I haven't had one where I'm like, well, that's done. We're going to go ahead and pack this up, you know. And I have had that in the past on other combos where I'm like, this is so bad that I'm either going to spend 45 minutes picking this out, or I'm going to call it and I'm going to use another technique, or maybe use another combo for this technique that's not the best suited for it. So it's just one of those deals where like you kind of gotta, you know, toy around with it. But I'm excited to see how it goes for you. One of the things that I love with bait is trout fishing. I think there is something so cool about taking these light, tiny swim baits that are moving presentations, and having trout just absolutely hammer them like little brook trout on like a 16th ounce jig with like a 2-inch paddle tail swim bait. And you're just like, you're just side casting right up into all of these log jams, like on a river where you know these fish will be, and you can just take that bait and drop it right where you want it. It's unbelievable. I think there's nothing like it. So a lot of people say like bait finesse is a scam. That's like the popular thing. Everything's a scam. That's just a YouTube algorithm thing. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, that's the improper use of the word scam. You know?
Exactly.
You know, it really is. But in reality, you know, what bait finesse allows you to do is fish much more pressured waters and show them something that they definitely haven't seen that often. You know, like even a downsized bladed jig versus like, you know, I'm talking like a 1/4 ounce bladed jig, something like that. Like I think the Z-Man makes the Mini Max. And it is, but I like to consider that like they're great. They're a little bit heavy for some of the combos that I use. They make one that is smaller. It's called the Micro Max.
I got that too.
Which is, yeah, those are really good. My favorites, if I'm being completely honest, when it comes to bladed jigs, are first off the pig jigs. Elated is.
I've been hearing a lot about him. I saw his live last night. Only thing is, he sells out quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you got to watch that site and then grab some stuff there. I really, really like his bladed jigs a whole lot. I like HH Customs a ton. That's a brand I discovered through Dark Horse Tackle. Although HH Customs makes a bunch of really great presentations that are super downsized that lend themselves to bait finesse very well. And then the other one is one of my absolute favorites. It's the OG that introduced me to the downsized bladed jig is the Jackal Darabreak.
I heard a lot about Jackal too.
Dude, I love them. It was Caleb Bell that introduced me to them, and I went to go buy a bunch of them at the place that we were staying, and they were all out. They're like, yeah, we're all sold out of those. So I looked around online. I couldn't find any. And then I happened to find a few spots, and I had to get them a little bit larger. But like I've never caught like rainbows and browns on bladed jigs, and it happens all the time. And like when they're fired up, they will absolutely annihilate that bait. It is nuts.
Oh yeah, especially down here, because like as soon as especially these especially trout in New Jersey, it's big down here. Like fly anglers are out or everything. It's a big thing. Don't mess with people's trout down here. And that's the reason why I bought it, because I was like, I got waders, you know what I mean? And that's why I was like, I want to catch these fish and show them something completely different and be more efficient. Just be more efficient, and they're going to be so pressured due to as soon as April 5th hit, everybody and their moms are out there. Couldn't even find a spot.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, that's the thing about like trout fishing. It's like that's its own sort of ball of wax entirely. Like you've got people who that's what they do. That's their fishing. Like they're going to watch the stocking reports and they're going to go out and hammer them. And then that's it. Like up here in Massachusetts, we've got the state had just released a bunch of their breeders into a bunch of spots, and like the breeder browns, big ones. And I caught one of those last year. They're huge. They're absolutely enormous. And people are going absolutely like apeshit for these things. Like they're all over the place. And there's one spot that I fish pretty routinely. There have been more trout anglers than I've ever seen. There's been dudes trolling. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because that's what they do, you know? And I mean, it's whole other kind of thing. But I love it when people see me and they're like, oh yeah, they biting today. You catch any smallies? And I'm like, man, I'm trying to catch them all. I'm trying to catch literally every single one. And I think, you know, it's just magic, dude. The stuff that you can get away with. So let's talk
that's what people ask. Sorry to cut you off. That's what people ask me when I go there. Like, what you going for? I'm like, whatever bites. Just like life, it's like life. It's like wherever comes.
And yeah, absolutely. They will all bite, you know, 100%. So I told you I was going to tell you about my night last night, right? This is one. So we have a longtime friend of the show, Ryan the Butcher Bogley. I've heard about him a bunch of times.
Heard about
Ryan's a good dude. And I introduced Ryan to BFS last summer. Right before I got my boat, he invited me to go out for a day, and we went out, and I was, you know, again, I was doing the multi-species scavenger hunt. And I told him, I was like, I'm pretty much going to be throwing around this one combo because I have such a wide amount of species that I'm targeting. So I want to kind of be open to everything. And I had that one combo that I started out with, that Shimano Majestic XT with the Dark Wolf 50 Ultra. And I'm throwing this puppy around, and I'm putting in like this one spot we went to. The panfish are just enormous. They're like dinner plates. They're huge, giant bluegill, giant crappie. Like they're all over the place. I'm catching a bunch of those. And then I start laying into a bunch of largemouth. He caught a big brown on a drop shot. And like he's killing them, but he was like, that is like awesome. And he's like, and it's so efficient. You can do all this other stuff. So he had gone and picked up, he had found somebody, I think on Marketplace, that was really heavily into finesse fishing. And he was selling off some stuff to make room for new stuff. And he had this rod. I forget what the name of the rod company was, but it's imported from Japan. And he picked it up and he put like, I think it was the Zephyr reel from Cast King on there. Yeah, that's what it was. It's the Zephyr that's out there. And he's been telling me for like the last maybe 6 months. He's like, Bobby, I got this combo. I just have to give to you. You've got to try it. Like, it's unbelievable. In fact, he had given me this box from Pig Jigs of these super, super tiny 16th ounce jigs. I think they're called the Jiglet from Pig Jigs.
Yep.
And they're badass. The thing is, on my combo, I have to adjust my reel so much to be able to throw them. And it's because the rod is a little bit too fast. It's a light rod. It's just a little bit too fast, a little bit more moderate, and I would be able to just flip these things with much more ease without adjusting my reels so much. So like my casting distance on them isn't fantastic. My happy spot for that combo is about like 3/32 of an ounce to an 1/8 ounce. In that window, it's pretty much perfect. I've thrown up to 3/16, and it does fine with it. It works great with it, but that's a little bit more of a power finesse, or like more of a power BFS setup, and it works great. The thing is awesome. I have no complaints with it all. Well, he tells me, he's like, oh, you gotta pick this up. Well, I did it live. I think you popped in on it yesterday when I was driving out to my event. I had an event to do out in the Boston area. And I'm on my way there and I'm talking, and he jumps into the comments and he's like, I got to get you this combo. I said, well, listen, man, I'm driving right past your area. When I'm done, I will meet you. If you're up, let me know. I was like, I'm going to go until like 10 o'clock. So figure about this time. Party went long. Like the timeline.
As usual.
Nuts. Oh yeah. Happens, And I have a thing when I'm working on an event, I want people to get the value out of me being there. So I'm like, yeah, so we'll go 30 minutes long. I give them the best show I can. They had a great time. It's 11 o'clock. I'm just in the truck after I loaded everything back up. And I text Ryan and I was like, dude, I am on my way. I was like, my ETA to the pin you left is this. There's 2 dudes in the freezing cold rain at midnight at a gas station on the side of the road in central Massachusetts. And this rod is going to play so well for trout fishing and those lighter baits. Then he pulls out this Shimano Aldebaran BFS, and he made me an offer, and I had to pass on it. So if I had to. We have situation with the dog. So I'm like, I can't do it. Just in case, I can't do it. I was like, but if you've still got it in a couple of months, maybe we'll be able to work it out.
Joe's going to be like, Bobby, you should have did it, Bobby.
Oh, 100%. He's the worst financial advisor I've ever. He's the worst. I don't know why I pay him, but it's yeah, he 100% is gonna go for that. But I'll tell you, it's like I am hook, line, and sinker, pun intended, with bait finesse. Can't get enough of it, man. Absolutely freaking love it. So let's talk about like what's a day like on the water for you? Like, what do you like from the when you get your gear together and everything, like, and you're on your way to the water? Are you like listening to anything to get hyped up, or do you like or do you listen to music at all while you fish?
It depends. Like, I'm very in tune with what I listen to. So like if I'm listening to music, it depends. Like if I'm just out there relaxing and just to get away and just chill, I'm listening to like R&B. Back in the day, like some 70s, 80s music, stuff like that. Like my grandfather and stuff, hanged out with him a lot. So I listened to like a lot of old school music, blues sometimes. Nice. And then
love it.
If I'm like, if I'm with my boys and stuff and I'm going fish with them and I'm like, you know what, I'm competitive, I'll be playing some like some Waka Flocka, some Gucci.
You gotta
get hyped up, yeah, that Tupac, Biggie, you know what I mean? Yep. That old school T.I. I don't like the new school. I don't like the new school music. It's music is just different now. But I like to listen to old school stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then if I want to learn something and when I'm trying techniques and I want to like really slow down and be entwined, I listen to like your podcast, Aggressively Average Anglers, Tackle Talk. Stuff like that.
That's awesome.
I'd be vibing. I just be vibing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I like to listen to nature when I'm fishing. I completely understand that. I totally do. But I have been more about like just setting the vibe, going to the playlist, and it will be a huge variety. Like I'll be all over the place with it, it'll be some days it'll be like sludgy stoner metal. Other days it'll be like 90s pop country, Or it'll be, I have one specific playlist, and I remember I had put this together where I listen to the Grateful Dead too a lot when I fish. But I also I'll listen to, like, I have this one playlist and it's like all slow blues. They're all songs that are slow blues. And it's when it's like, picture it like July, middle of the day. I have no business being in my kayak. I'm dehydrated. It's just a bad scene and they won't bite. But when I need a bite, I'll throw that Ned and I'll drag it real slow. And that slow cadence of that slow blues will kind of remind me, like, hey, slow down. Count the rocks, do something else. And it's a good thing. I always like to ask that question because you never know. Some people are like, they're like, nope, I don't listen to any music at all. I want to know everything that's going on. And there's definitely value to that. I see it, but I like to have fun and listen to music and get hyped up and set the mood. And apparently Creed is like the thing, you put on Creed and they just start biting. I don't know. I don't know what it is. My buddy Paul, he said it and that's what happened.
Nah, it's funny. So me and my brother-in-law, when we fished, right? So it's funny. It's funny and it's weird. It's every time this happens, it's weird. We'll listen to Morgan Wallen, right? We'll listen to Morgan Wallen. I start catching. I don't know why. I'll start catching shit. Every time I listen to country music, I'll start catching shit.
Fish.
Then ready, and we switch it over, completely switch it over. Listen to rap, put on Biggie Smalls, right? He starts catching shit.
That's interesting. That's real interesting. That's a good little experiment to do.
But I was nuts. I told him, I was like, we'll change the music and let's see if you catch something. We changed the music. All of a sudden, he started pulling them in.
I love that. I absolutely.
I was like, that, man. I don't know what's going on.
That's freaking nuts, dude. So, what do you have as far as like a list of any like destination spots that you want to fish?
Destination spots. I really, really want to. First of all, I really want to go. Pretty much, I just want to travel, man. I just want to go to wherever it is and just have a good time. I want to go to Canada, find out some spots up there. I want to go to upstate, heard some spots up there.
Yep.
Want to go destination. I want to go fish with you and Joe Brown. That's the one destination. That's the number one destination on the list right there. Just to learn more and also have a good time. Some, you know what I'm saying? Some the icky sticky too. You know what I'm saying? When Joe retires too. Yeah. You know.
Yep.
So you gotta have that. That's always a good time.
Yeah. What's your preferred method for the fish whistle usage?
I just Texas rig, honestly, I just throw whatever I feel like. It's like, you know what, let's just throw whatever, work it, and just see what happens. Not change the lure out. I just try to catch like, all right, today I'm gonna throw a jig. I'm gonna learn how to do this, and then I'm gonna catch my first bite on the jig. Boom. Okay, cool. Now I know how to do that.
I'm talking about the fish whistle.
Oh, the fish whistle. I do the pen. I do the pen.
The Benjamin. No, there you go. I could. Okay, fair enough.
Because since being a dad, man, it's just so much. It's just so much easier. I don't have to smell. This is perfect. This for everybody out there that's a dad. You know what I'm saying? It's the quickest thing ever. You just go outside, take a little 2 hits, 3 hits, right, and go right back inside and act like nothing happened. Where's Daddy? Right here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
100%. I'm going to tell you. You know, I this is a question that I gotta be careful when I ask the guests, about it, because you never know what their take is on fish whistle activity or not. So what I have found,
man, it's 2025, man. It's 2025.
I've gone out with people and I've seen them old school, like take out a glass piece, like pack a bowl right on the boat or in the kayak, something like that, and which is great. But I feel like I hate using flour, like even like a pre-roll. If I'm out on the water, because if it gets wet, it immediately is like, that's going to be a no-go.
It's done. It's done up.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I know a lot of people talk about, the Benjamin being, like, oh, I hate using a Benjamin, blah, 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 blah. But let's be honest, it is super convenient. And I have a way that, like, I have a game that I play. Did I ever tell you about this? I don't think I ever actually talked about it on the show. I have a game that I play with the Benjamin. And when I'm out fishing. So what I do is this. I won't, like, there are times where I'll go and I might have like an edible before I go and I hit the water or something like that.
I know about your edibles, Bobby.
That can be a little bit squirrely. Like, it's more of like, that's more of like a bank fishing activity, something like that. I don't do that shit when I'm in the boat. But I will say this. I do have a little bit of a game that I play, like, where I will be ready to roll and I won't hit the Benjamin until I catch something. And then only after every other fish is when I'll have another hit from the Benjamin. So it's a little bit of an adventure to see, like, how are we going to end up? And I should say, when I'm out on the water, I'm using 1-to-1 specifically because it doesn't, like, I'm a low dose kind of guy. A lot of people think I'm like Joey Diaz, Brandon. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, Bobby's dropping 1,000 milligram edibles. I'm like, if I go over 15, I'm not leaving the house. Like, that's just it. I'm not like, I'm a real human. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to do anything crazy. So, like, I like a lot of the 1-to-1 stuff because there's a lot more leeway. It's almost like having like light beer, tastes great, less filling, and it's a good thing. So I'm always curious, and I kind of we got to talk more about the fish whistle on this show, because I don't know if you saw, I used a little bit of AI generation to create a mock-up action figure. And,
yeah, I saw it. Yeah, you got the little. I saw the starter pack, the Bobby starter pack.
Oh yeah, and it is painfully accurate, 100% accurate. I love that, man. Let's talk about your, like your go-to presentations. Like, what do you feel like you've got a good command of as far as fishing techniques? Like, where's the confidence with you?
Finesse. I just like finesse, just cause like I'm just always been a finessey type person. Like, like power. Power, yeah. Sometimes there is time for power, but sometimes like that finesse will get you, that sneaky stuff will get you a lot of bites. That's what I feel like. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants to throw the power. Everybody's throwing these big jigs. Everybody's throwing something big baits, big bites. Sometimes the underdog, the little guy, can get something done too. You know what I mean?
Well, and a lot of the time you'll see that you'll be fishing with folks and they're throwing conventional size stuff. And when I say conventional, I'm talking like that, right? Like middle of the road. Like they're throwing like that half-ounce spinnerbait, or they're throwing like, like a rattle trap or something like that, of like a stand. But it's when you push out to those extremes and you go a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller than outside of there. And you can oftentimes pick up bites that might have been left behind, and it's, I don't know. I think that's a good thing. It's part of the reason why I like throwing like big baits, like the big wake baits that I like and that kind of stuff. But also why I like throwing like super tiny 2.5 gram jigs, just throwing something like that with a plastic. This is one of the reasons why I like Bait Finesse Empire. They just sent this with that reel. And I'm like, all right, this is kind of nice. Got a nice little wobble head on it, different kind of action.
Yeah, I'm waiting on my package from Moondog Baits. I'm waiting for them to come in. I got some micro swim jigs, some micro lures. Like, I can't wait to try those out. Because I looked on Pigs and Jigs. I tried to look on the guys that you suggest. I try to look up and stuff. And then I was like, damn, this guy is moving.
I will tell you, if there's a couple of things specifically that I think Pig Jigs just nails, their first, like the Ulated bladed jig is just awesome. Like, it is so good. I like the 1/8 ounce. I have a couple of the 16th ounce ones too. And I'm thinking that this new rod is going to play as well with those as like my Majestic XT plays with like that 1/8 ounce size.
I've been hearing that, Mr.
those-
Mono Majestic. I've been hearing about it, man. Yo, Amir, if you're listening, please let me know. Take YP the guy, send whatever. Let me know when you get it in stock. I will be the first one to get it. I've been hearing about it for all these channels, my guy. Please.
I don't know that they're around anymore. I don't know that they're on the market any longer. I feel like they did away with the line. Like, yeah, that's the thing. The rod is there, but it's all out of stock, and it's a great rod. But I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. Like, it's a little bit fast. Like, it's something you're going to have to kind of adjust with. There's other rods that I have toyed around with that are a little bit more moderate that might work for that smaller presentation. But I mean, I think it's a great all around kind of rod. Mm-hmm. And it's been actually my go-to for like bank fishing stuff. That's all I do. I take that. I have a downsize sling pack that I'll put all of the smaller, plastics in and all my jig box and everything and all the stuff that I need. And I carry that. And that's what I'll do for bank fishing. And I to be perfectly honest, like bank fishing and specifically urban bank fishing are my jam. Mm-hmm. I live in an old mill town. Like, we have a bunch of old factories. And one of the things that my city is known for is its canal system off of the Connecticut River. So the Connecticut River feeds into this canal system, and there's like 3 tiers where they run all along the backsides of all of these old factories. And that's how they used to move resources and all kinds of stuff and get stuff out on the river. It was a really cool setup. There are fish in there. Yeah, they're hard to catch, and like the spots are terrible because there's a lot of stuff that's fenced off. So you're doing these like bomb casts from like a way out, or you're fishing on a bridge. And I've caught smallies on like swim jigs, on like from a bridge. Like, I'm pulling them up like 2 stories. Like, okay, good luck, and try and launch them and let them go. And then I've heard stories about there being big carp and just random batches of trout that will just show up in there. And like, it's weird because it's an urban environment. So like, and it's a man-made canal. So you don't have like stumps or laydowns or rock piles. The bottom is all concrete. But what you do have is like shopping carts, So like, you've got cover that's there. And it's kind of unbelievable. You go and throw a jig and you're like, yeah, they were really tight to the shopping carts today. They seem to like the plastic versus the metal. I don't know what it was. And it's just one of these things. It's like, and I also love the idea with urban fishing that you can go into a spot and go cut into a line of trees. And then it's like you're in another world. It's like a warp zone, It's crazy. Do you have any spots like that you're just like, yeah, you escape out of this one spot and you're like, nobody even knows I'm here. Nobody even knows this exists.
Oh, dude, there's especially like where I'm at in Jersey, because people pretty much say that where I'm at in Jersey, it's like, oh, you live in PA. It's like, no, I live in Jersey. I'm just right by the Delaware River. This PA is like,
gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's, I live in Jersey. Oh yeah. But like this areas, man, like Jersey right now, it's so diverse with their waterways. It's like,
yep,
you can go to a reservoir, right? And then you could go to a creek. You can walk the creek, right? And then you go, and the creek will take you to the Delaware, and it all, like, pretty much everything goes to the Delaware.
Oh yeah. And
so you can walk anywhere. You can walk up here. Also, you find a spot, and it's like.
So you're closer to like the western edge of Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, and that's the thing. I mean, with the Delaware being there, if you go down far enough, like, you've got tidal stuff too, and that's wild. I've only ever fished, I think, one tidal system, and it was in Maryland, and it was a blast. But it was crazy because we're out there for the full day, and just to see the fluctuation in water alone is just mind blowing to me. Because like when I fish a river system, I'm in like the Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
this far up. And, the only time that water level is going to change is when they open up the dam to release some water. It's nuts.
Yeah,
But
that's the
it's
crazy
pretty
thing
awesome.
about Jersey. It's like because like with the Delaware, right? You got the you got they have a big shad tournament in
Yep.
Jersey too, in the Delaware, and they also have stripers also come up the
Oh, yeah, they
Delaware
do.
too. So
Yep.
it's like you catch a lot. It's like a lot of different diversity in the Delaware.
That is so. One of the things that I had said, when I bought the boat was like, obviously I'm going to be pushing this a lot in the, in the Connecticut River a bunch, getting out and experimenting with that. It's like my kayak is not an ideal setup for current. It's just it's a barge. It's huge, and it's not as nimble as it should be for those high current situations. So I kind of use that with more still water, ponds and lakes. Go and send that, where it is that I'm going to go. The boat allows me to go to a spot lock in an area and fish like crazy. And the same thing, we have a striper run that comes up here. We have a big shad tournament. The Connecticut River is just, it's this huge artery that goes right to the ocean. And you get there's some giant striper that come through. And in Massachusetts, striper fishing is kind of like the Dunkin' Donuts of fishing. Like it's everywhere. Everybody's talking about stripers, kid. You know what I mean?
That's the same thing in New Jersey.
And it's like it's any of those coastal towns, and like I'm like 2 hours from the coast, but because of the Connecticut River, that sort of striper culture comes way back in here. People hammer it. This year, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot because, I've seen plenty of folks out there striper fish with what they would use for bass and be very successful, and that is exactly the type of fishing that I'm looking to do. Now, like the stripers, they're not on the multi-species scavenger hunt because they're a saltwater fish. And it's kind of hard because it's a freshwater only tournament, it's kind of hard to make the judgment on what we're going to do. That doesn't mean that you won't see a future striper fishing tournament series with Jigs and Bigs. That could be its own sort of thing. Yeah, it could be like a monthly striper tournament. How many striper can you catch in a month? The maximum number of inches, something like that. It could be absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Would be its own thing. It could be a lot of fun. Yeah, it could be. It could be pretty cool. I just think, I gotta dabble a little bit and, understand the species a little bit more, I think, before we jump into that. But this year, and it's the same thing. Like I want to go down. I have a bone to pick with the Delaware after January. I'm looking to go back down there. So maybe that's what you and I will do, catch some striper, hit the fish whistle. Yeah.
Fish whistle. And the crazy thing is right across the street from the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Right across the street.
I love that, man. That's perfect. That is perfect. Well, all right, Brandon, this is really good. I got it's a two-parter question that we're going to wrap on. This one has to do with obviously fishing stories, which is like the cornerstone of what Jigs and Bigs is about. So what I'm looking for from you is like the story about so far the moment that you're like most proud of on the water. Might be a PB. It might be like something where shit went sideways and you were able to kind of like scramble and put it back together. Whatever it might be. Lots of times it's that story that you're going to lead with if you were at like a wedding, like an event. Like a wedding rather. And, somebody's at the bar and they're just like, oh yeah, so-and-so said you fish. Like that story that you would lead with. The other story I'm looking for is like the epic fail where it all went to hell. Fire away.
All right. So the proudest moment, when I caught my PB largemouth, and this was literally like in November, October-ish. And that's why I call about the FTG. And that's the funny thing.
Oh, was then? Oh.
Yeah, it was then. So, yeah, I threw this jerk bait, and I'm just like, first cast, I'm just like, all right, just working it. All of a sudden, the line just started running. And I'm like, oh my God. Reeling, pulled it up. I just yelled, oh my God. And then
That's awesome,
waited. I was like, my heart's racing. I'm trying to lip it, right? I'm all of a sudden it started flapping, about to go back in the water. I was like, no, no, I'm like all over the place, all over the damn place. And then I weighed
Mm-hmm.
it, and it said 4 point like 5, 6 something, and I'm like, no
Nice.
way, no way. I took it off, I put it back on again, and I'm like, no way, no way. And then I just took the picture, took the video, and I'm like, yo, I really just did that. Like that really just happened. First cast, and then that's when the guy took my spot and cast literally where I cast.
Oh yeah, of course. They see you pull a big fish and they're just like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I got to get mine." That I hate that. I hate that shit. Dude,
Yeah,
that's a great fish though. 4.5 pounds. And like you've been fishing for how many years at this point? And you know,
not even a year, almost a
that's
year.
what I'm saying. Like that's awesome, dude. That's great. And like the nice thing is that you did it the right way. You got yourself a benchmark. You know what I'm saying? You've got like, this is where my PB is. So now you're like, I'm sure every time you catch like a big, you're like, is this going to be it? And I'll tell you, when you catch that next biggest fish, I think you'll be surprised. Like you're not going to be expecting it. It'll just be one of those things where you're like, oh, this is a good sized fish. I don't know if it's going to go over
And that's
4.5.
usually what happens too. And it's like, oh, this is all of a sudden like that female is like she was lazy. I felt like she was. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's a dink. All of a sudden, I saw the belly turn, and I'm like, oh my god! And then, and then the epic fail. This
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
This happened a month ago. I'm not proud of it. So you're the first one to hear about it. My wife don't even know.
Oh, this is a big deal then.
So I went to no, it was just embarrassed. I felt I did like just being the athletic guy and just being the athletic guy and you do something that's not athletic and it's just like you look up and you just like I really did that dumb shit. Like I really just did that
Oh,
dumb
yeah.
shit.
Yep.
So I went to this one spot and this has a dam and stuff and it has a drop off. So perfect spot. They loaded with trout, has bass in it too. And this is like the
Mhm.
first spot I caught a bass on. So I was like, let me go there. I'm on break. I work at two different facilities. So I go to do two different spots sometimes. So I was like, let me go up here. So I'm fishing, right? I saw this I think a largemouth follet. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm standing right by the drop off. Like there's a drop off and there's the dam. So I'm standing on like this ledge and stuff. So I'm trying to like work it, right? And I felt a tug. And I tried to tug, right? And
Yep.
the momentum, I tried to jump down. When I jumped down, right, my foot left and, and I just tipped over and just fell, fell, hit the ground, right? Lost the fish,
Oh,
and freaking rod fell in the water. I had to go get it. I popped myself up, looked around, make sure nobody saw me, dust
oh
myself
yeah.
off, reeled everything in, and got in the car and left.
That's how it is though sometimes. And everybody's got those kinds of stories. You know, like everybody's got those stories where like they just did something super like stupid. Although on the other side, like I'm sure there are things where you've been like, oh, I caught this fish and you had to do something a little bit daring or maybe daring or like athletically like impressive in order to be able to make this happen. Like there was this one time, the very first fish I ever caught on a jig, I was fishing at this college campus that I like to fish, and there's a pond that has a dam where the stream kind of comes out from the spillway and it goes out to another pond, the lower pond. So I'm up at right over by the dam, and I get this giant that just takes this jig, and I'm on a surface that's about 6 feet above the water's, like the level of the water. So I needed to, I was just like, I'm going to break my rod if I try to hoist this fish up. So holding the rod, I climb over the rail that keeps you from like falling over for like their insurance or whatever. I climb over down onto the dam. Now, keep in mind, I'm a 300+ pound guy. This was hilarious. I'm standing on the dam. I get the fish. I'm like, oh, this is great. I can't believe I did this. This is amazing. And I'm like, my heart's just pounding out of my chest. I was like, my scale and my phone were in my bag up over the guardrail, up on this platform. And there was no way I was going to get it. For a minute, I thought, if I release this fish, I'm stuck here. I'm not going to be able to get up. I'm too fat to be able to pull myself back up. I did it. I did it. I pulled myself back up and got back on there. It wasn't cute, but it happened. So it's like, you get those fail moments, but there are other times where you're just like, you just didn't see the good moments. You know what I mean? Like, it's brutal, man. Falling in the water is the worst. And it's happened to so many people. Like falling in the water.
Yeah. I wasn't my proudest moment. I looked up so quick and made sure there was nobody around.
Because your worst fear is that somebody's doing this, going like.
So I was like, let me get up out of here.
Yeah, that's awesome, Brandon. This is
and then I had a cut.
Awesome,
hold on, before anything, too, guys. So I got this cut right. So I got home, and my wife was like, "What happened? I was like, at work, man. Like I was grinding something, and like the grinder slip, it got me.
That's a good cover. That's a real good cover. That's awesome, dude. Brandon, this is really, really fantastic. Do me a favor, promote yourself a little bit. If people want to keep in touch with you, see what you've been doing, like any social media or anything you got going on, give a shout out, promote yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just YP the God on Instagram, man. Shit is private right now. Probably try to get up a page, try to do some YouTube probably in the future with my friends and stuff and my cousin and stuff. So yes, hit a follow, I'll follow you back. That's it, man. This podcast is number one in my eyes, man. Like it's awesome. You guys are doing a big job, doing the big things, man. Appreciate it.
That's awesome, dude. And yes, we are this year. You and I, we're gonna hit the water, and what we might actually end up doing is hitting the water hard, hitting the fish whistle harder, and then we'll take a ride to Atlantic City. We'll go to Tony Baloney's.
Oh yeah, Tony Baloney's. Let's go.
Right.
And some BFS too. Show me some things. 100%. You got to show me some things.
100%. In fact, you know what I might even do? We might make this a little. We'll call it a business expense, and I'll call this. I'll put you through the BFS guide course. We'll take the boat out. We'll find a spot. We'll make some. We'll make some stuff happen. Of course, we'll bring like all the gear because just in case. But we'll go through and get you dialed on BFS, and we'll see if we can put some fish that are too large for the leaders that we're throwing in the boat.
Oh, you're gonna love the smallies. You're gonna love the smallies in the Delaware. You're gonna love them.
Oh yeah. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Hell, we might sink into some snakehead. I love snakehead. They're one of my favorites.
They're in the Delaware. They're definitely in the Delaware.
Yep. And on BFS, that would be frightening and impressive at the same time.
Yeah, let's hope we hold on. That's it. Yeah. Let's just hope we hold on.
It's 100%, dude. Awesome. This was so good, man. Do me a favor, if you could, you can DM it to me. Just send me a picture of you holding a tank. Like, just send me or like a bunch of fish, and we'll use it for the artwork on the episode.
I got you, my brother.
Awesome, dude. You have a great one, man. This is great. We'll talk to you.
You too, man. Yes, sir.
Right. Appreciate it. Bud. All right. Got that all out of our system. Kevin Vadam, we love you, but feel like you made an overstep right there. How many hot dog manufacturers are fucking irate right now? All of them. All of them.
All of them. All of them.
Oscar Mayer is there like sharpening up spears. They're like, we're going after him. you know? John Higgins chimes in as we wrap up. He goes, another cold front just blew in here. Time to pack up my lawn chair, hot dogs, and Busch Light and hit the dusty trail. That's fucking great, dude. Oh, man, that's awesome, man. There might have to be a Jigs and Bigs t-shirt made that just says something to the effect of like, non-skilled cat fisherman. Right on the back.
I gotta look for this video.
Oh God! I'll share it to you. It's on TikTok. It's a fucking doozy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you because it's actually, I'm gonna do it right now. You should just see it just to get your reaction because it's just that good. There is something in this segment that I do want to talk about. I have. Where are you, Joe? There you go. I'm sending it to you on Instagram. This week, okay. I have been going kind of hard tagging dude wipes and like goading them into partnering with us. And I started a quasi campaign called #SaveABirchTree.
Okay.
I really think Dude Wipes needs to be our next partner. I think it just makes sense. Just with the camping and like we're getting older, like it just makes sense to always be prepared. So I feel like we can speak heavily toward, a brand like Dude Wipes, being tied into the outdoors. I think that it's the perfect fit. Don't even tell me that it's actually AI. Are you watching it?
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It's not AI, but it's old as shit.
Oh, it is old, huh?
Yeah, it's old as shit.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right. Because, he's still wearing his jersey and stuff in it and all that stuff.
Yeah, so. Dude, in companies, brands that don't even exist anymore. Yeah.
Man, that's freaking nuts.
At least 10 years, I would say.
Todd Sefton goes, I had to save a birch tree on Saturday. Dude Wipes came in clutch. Fucking A, dude. They do.
I got it. That's a must on the boat. You never know when you got to hop on an island, especially when you got like sensitive tummy like myself.
You're out there, and maybe that breakfast burrito snuck up on you in the wrong way, or maybe that extra cup of coffee wasn't the greatest idea. Like Dude Wipes can help you kind of manage things and keep stuff together. John Higgins, seems like everybody's got a Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes should be a sponsor of the Shitting in the Woods Roundtable. Yes. Todd says always in the truck. I have one that I keep in my one of my storage compartments in the boat for the the island getaway, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And then I keep one in the truck for just a roadside stop if need be, or the old, it's real. It is. It's real, man. You always got to have one. It. And they
killed the marketing with those things.
They really did. And there was a moment where, how I was introduced to Dude Wipes was through Mystery Tackle Box.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There was an event, back when I had subscribed to Mystery Tackle Box. When I first got into fishing, there was a box that came in and it had a single individually wrapped Dude Wipe in there. And I'm like, I'm like, is this what I think it's for? And I'm like, confirmed. I just think it's a great move, man. And I think actually the little soft pack pouches that have the flip top are like ideal.
Yeah.
Because you can have them on hand and you're good to go. Mm-hmm. But it's never a bad idea. And I don't know if they make them regularly, the individual wrapped ones, where you can just keep some of these stashed, in a smaller location where you're like, this is the real, like in case of emergency, break glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good fucking move. I'll have to look into that. But I have. So I bring this up, listeners, because if you have a story where you had to, quote, save a birch tree, and I use that phrasing specifically as a nod to the OG Jigs and Bigs listeners from like the early days. If you've ever been in that situation and you're like, Dude Wipes would have 100% came in very handy here instead of me having to soil Mother Nature, quite literally. I think that we can make this happen and make it a campaign. And I think if we all give it our all, if we all give it the old college try, if we just push, I think Dude Wipes might be receptive to it. Oh, they do have those, Bobby. I thought they were just a promotional.
I think they do have smaller. Yeah, I think they they have smaller packs. They're not so much like they have like travel packs.
See, I think that is a genius idea. Like, have one of those. You're just like, yeah, keep them on my backpack. Keep one here. Keep one there. You know, fucking, you never know. You never know.
Easily open with one hand to some teeth.
Yes, you're not wrong, J-Man. You're not. I really cannot wait for the shitting in the woods roundtable. I don't know why, but it seems like Binya is often around when I'm like really needing to reach out to Mother Nature a lot. I don't know. Maybe he just brings that out of me, pun intended. I don't know. Maybe, but yeah, that we got to get on that. Shit, if that fucking front fucks everything up, we might end up recording a roundtable on fucking Saturday night too. It's possible. It's a possibility. Oh my goodness. Joe, do you have anything you want to throw in here before we wrap this sucker up? I think we've got ourselves.
No, that's it. Bobby and I both have new videos out on YouTube, so go make sure you check that out.
We do. Go check them out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to each of us because, man, you know, it's like, that's the thing. You know, it helps out in a huge way. And I'll tell you, I was kind of like hesitant to go and dive into YouTube. And last spring, I think, is when I kind of really took a dive into it, and I'm glad that I did, because it's been an experience.
It's fun, dude. Editing videos is fun. It's I enjoy doing it. Like once you actually like start to put in the effort, it's fun.
Yeah, it really is. It's a good time, and I think what I love, my favorite thing, is the comments. I love the comments when people leave feedback and they're just like, oh shit. Or if I put something together intentionally to try to get a laugh out of somebody, I love that shit. I think that's fucking beautiful. All right. Yeah. Todd's taking off. He says, have a good week, boys. I'll see you on Friday, Bobby. You're goddamn right. I'm leaving here super early and I can't wait. Friday can't get here fast enough. But we're gonna send it. We're gonna make things happen, folks. Have yourselves a good one. If you are out there and you're catching them, just tag us in your pics. If you're posting them on Instagram or on Facebook, we'd love to show you a little bit of love with likes and comments and sharing and all kinds of good stuff. We love that. We love what you guys are out there doing. Remember, both tournaments are open right now for registration. Both the Scavenger Hunt series and the Slot Limit series, and it's April the 19th. This is the date for the Slot Limit. Go ahead, get in on it. 12 to 17-inch fish. Trust me, if you have black bass in your fishery, like you want to be in on this tournament. This is not about the biggest fish. It is catch 'em all style within the slot. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, guys. Jay Manning says, "Flick the bean, boys." You have a good one too. There, Jay. I tried to get through there without even getting a chuckle out, but so much for that shit. We will see you guys in 7 days with more Jigs and Bigs goodness. The next episode is going to be one of these live on location recordings. We're doing Sunday night. You don't have any Easter plans on Sunday, right? Do you, Joe? Sunday evening?
I'll double check, but I don't think so.
Let me know. We'll record then. And then, Joe and I have a date on the calendar.
Monday.
We're recording Monday with Wendell Fishing, not for Jigs and Bigs, but for the Wendell Fishing podcast. So that will be coming up. You guys don't want to miss out on any of this. We've got good shit all around. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you guys in 7 days with more Jigs and Bigs fishy goodness. And like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
So like we always say,
spread it open and flick the bean. I'm Joey, I'm proud of the pussy queen.
Oh, God.